Go red for me, Osborne. Actually, I haven't loaded.
Yep.
Meow.
Hello.
I've got a 4-man section.
User left your channel. User entered disconnected from your channel.
Spittle,
Yes.
you need to go Ramir Perry.
User joined your channel.
$200.
User left your channel. User joined your channel.
Two. One, two.
Oh my god, they look awful.
What do?
User
The iron
joined your
sights.
channel.
That's what I call iron sights. They do look awful. They are awful.
What are you doing with that?
I wanted some more firepower, so...
Spittle.
Scooch up,
Mitchell's
Osborne.
Ramir and Perry.
Oh, Mitchell's doing it. Okay.
Yeah, it's alright. I'm not using the scope tonight, I'm being spicy.
Well, the
I
iron sight's
already
like on
can't
the
see
mini.
anything.
Yeah, might as well. Some bit of fun.
They're alright.
Well, yeah, the iron
Actually,
sights on these are actually pretty good. With
Yeah,
those, you
it's
can
like
shoot...
M249 ones, isn't it?
Are you guys missing optics or something?
No, we just...
No, they just decided to take them off because they want to have a look and let them fly, have a go without them.
Unless we do some long-range engagements, we'll put them back on.
Alright, it's in the backpack, just in case.
I mean, technically,
I mean, I
realism-
would take mine off, but
realism
they kind of
purposes, you wouldn't
defeat
be
the
taking
purpose
them
of
on and
DMR.
off because you
Well, well,
calibrated them and ranged them in. But yeah, fair enough. Whatever.
no, that's
Yeah, I'm
the
just
iron
like
sights
saying, I
you
would-
do, but with those, it's about the position, you probably have a mark on it. It's basically just needing a multi-tool and take it out and unscrew the thing and put it back on again. It's actually only one screw, if I remember right, on the L85.
I'll stick mine
the
on the
optics,
blue
During
tab.
the
the optics
L85.
don't
Oh wait,
need-
no, for the iron sights, yeah, it's like the handle, but the actual L can is a quick release.
I never knew that.
I'm just going to leave
User
mine
joined
where it
your
is.
channel.
Every rifle I've ever personally fired or owned had to calibrate and calibrate.
Yeah,
And it's had to be set for the shooter's eyes.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they don't whack you in the eye, which has happened to me twice.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh,
And as soon
I've-
as you bump
yeah.
it slightly, you've got to recalibrate it again because they quite often get knocked out of alignment. So.
Yeah.
Then you've got a really shit sight. I mean, I've shot the L85 before
Well, I mean,
in
this
iron
is the
sights, and it's
civilian-
not that
yeah.
bad.
this is the civilian variants of stuff, like not
Yeah.
military spec shit.
Oh yeah, no. Do you know what the funniest thing I've seen by far though? Is when I've been shooting with cadets, when I was a cadet, be sitting there, adjusting our kit, and I got told, move your front sight 2 clicks to the left. So we get back to troop shell, I move it 2 clicks to the left, and everyone starts screaming at me like all the other cadets and stuff, like, why are you adjusting your sight? You don't touch that. I'm like, I've just been told to.
Hmm.
And that was the day I got my best grouping.
Because someone said adjust your front sight, and you did it.
Yeah, no, because I actually had a decent instructor for once. Like, typically, right, in the cadets, you'll get told, oh, it's your breathing, even if it's not.
Yeah.
Because they don't know shit. about
Well,
what it
Breathing
looks
is a
like.
big thing about it, but it's not
It
be all and
is a
end.
big. Oh yeah, it's a big thing. I'm wrong, but like, it's you'll get instructors who don't know shit about like what groupings and that look like, so they'll go, "Oh, it's your breathing," but it's not. Because I've had an instructor who actually knows, what each grouping look like, what happens, like if you snatch the trigger, it will go high, kind of thing. He's like,
That's kind of common
"Snatch and
sense. But anyone who's
that's
ever
doing this,
fired
that's
a
doing
rifle
that.
knows that
Oh
that's-
yeah, I'm just saying, like,
User joined
the
your
instructor
channel.
will tell you though, and actually get it right. Instead of half the time, the instructor's got actually breathing when it's not.
User joined your channel. User joined your channel. User was moved to your channel.
User moved to your channel.
Player Hardwick connected. Somebody hasn't changed his profile since last night.
Yeah, Jurgen's signed in with the one he was using last night.
What was he
With
using?
Vandermeer.
Oh, Vandermeer.
Vickers stand something. It's quite funny.
Oh.
User joined your channel.
Yes, you should be arriving at like
Hello.
8 or something.
Hello, Smithel.
Oh yeah, so that's what you said.
You've got an AR.
You need,
Yes.
Every fucking time, man.
you need to respawn, mate.
Bloody Aqua. So are you AR tonight or are you seeing tonight?
I'm not seeing it. I was wanting some more firepower and some shooty.
I see. Well, Hardwick said he's grabbing some food, then he'll hold to turn up. So, hey, that technically makes me Widow 2-3. I could get thingy into the F-16.
Good for you, Blake Way.
Oh, that would really fuck him up.
Oh yeah, who's the drone?
Yeah, they pay.
It's mine.
Could you send it away? Because it's really annoying.
What happened to Viper? Where's he gone?
FSG.
I get support.
User joined your
Fuck, it's a
channel.
bore.
Wait, Viper got to go to FSG? What?
There we go.
I can just imagine him now. He'll be like, spicy. Every shot, spicy.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby.
I miss him. I kind of feel bad for what I put as his honourable member.
But you really don't, though.
I don't. Yeah, in the honorary members, he's now L dirty fucking traitor Viper.
Oh crap! I haven't signed to my radios yet.
No, you haven't. Too bad I do that.
Yes,
I want to hear your. I want to hear your voice, man.
Oh.
I want to hear it all crackly over a radio.
Oh.
I'm in a bit of an odd mood today.
Radio check. Over.
Fits.
5. This is 1-2 Charlie, signing into 100.1. Radio check. Over.
So why did Viper get to go to FSG? Like,
5.
did they just select him then?
Literally just grabbed. Harry just grabbed him and just was like, "You're FSG."
You are one of us.
Oh, nice.
Come join the club. I like to think when they're sat up on a hill, they're just playing chess or something like that.
Yeah.
Bit of malt whiskey or something like that.
Not even that. Drinking diluted orange juice.
I'm just gonna check something. Okay, it does have the bipod. Good.
User joined your channel.
There we go. Not that I'm going to be using that. I just wanted to see if the bind still worked.
User joined your channel. User was moved to your channel. User was moved to your channel.
Wait, shit, does this mean I'm the most senior private in our section now?
Only by time spent.
Cheers, Mikhail. Cheers.
We'll find Mitchell.
Oh, you said his name 3 times and he appeared. Holy shit.
What's Perry's issue?
Something to do with ArmA 3sec.
Brilliant.
Okay, he's traumaing.
He's trying to reinstall it. Don't know if he's had much luck.
Placing a bit now that Perry just can't be asked to come and he's saying he's got that issues.
No, he wouldn't be sat in the he wouldn't be sat in the help room if he didn't.
User in your channel timed out.
I'm just going to check the call to see who we have.
Hello 10, this is 11 Charlie, message over.
And message.
Go ahead, 11 Charlie over. 11 is geared up and ready to move.
User entered your channel.
Don't be alarmed, there's a snake right next to us.
Ooh, Season 2 of Grand Tour, 8th of December. 10, this is 12 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, 12 Charlie over.
12 is ready to roll out. Out.
Okay.
Yeah, out.
We taking victors then, or what?
I don't know.
Yeah?
I like victors.
Here.
I always knew you were gay. Put that away.
I didn't mean to pull it out, I was trying to do that. I pressed 3.
What
I wasn't watching the screen.
Oh yeah, I don't have an 84, do I?
Run like Forrest.
Yeah, we should be getting.
Excuse me, Spittle, but you're an AR. You don't have 80.
Suck my cock.
Sorry, didn't hear that.
Is that what you have to do to carry an AT?
Maybe, yeah. I've been trained in this.
Hello, how are you?
Oh, definitely.
I've been.
When is it?
I don't know. I've got to make it.
Yes, I didn't realise there was one going on.
I'm
so,
trained for this though.
I would have dropped
One
on
night I was a
the one I probably
GPMG
would've come in
end-law gunner.
Yeah, well, welcome to the next one if you want.
Fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
The GPN.
It looks fun.
Yeah.
Farm.
I was on top of
My first one as well.
a flat with like 10 belts of ammo.
Nervous.
Yeah. Did it go okay for you though?
Please tell me Spittle, you were sitting on top like, and the team goes.
No.
Again, a couple of millions on this to chase it.
Yeah.
2 plus 2 is 4.
And all my custom sounds.
Why is a Viper?
That
Yeah,
was
the
what was
Raptors
strange.
race.
What you saying,
It
Spittle?
was awesome when I saw him. I was like,
Yeah.
How now? I'm in this when, for some reason, your screen from ArmA flashes to
they
TeamSpeak.
sounded terrifying.
Yes. It might be just pitch black not being able to see him.
Exactly.
Not a girl.
You wanna come and play with me?
Oh, sorry.
I want to play. I want to play.
Yes, please.
Spittle was like, yeah, I wanna come play. Let me play.
Did I have the Nightmare on Elm Street thing?
Yes.
Oh.
And the Silent Hill.
Yeah.
1, 2, Mitchell's coming
The
for
next
you.
one's gonna be scary as fuck.
Ring a ring a
Do the true Silent Hill ending where we'll find out it turns out
One
it's a dog
of you's
all
not
the time.
in your group spell, according to Zeus.
But you know what,
What?
I'm gonna do next time? I'm also gonna like,
1, 2,
we're gonna
3,
go
1,
open a
2,
door and then we're just gonna go here.
What? There's 4 of us here.
Mitchell, stop a second.
Osborne.
Yeah, say that again, Sterling.
Gonna hurt you.
And Dave. Bill,
I'm
you're
just
not
gonna
in
bash your
your
brutes.
group on there.
Because
Yeah,
I'm the
the
first one
fuck
that spawned in,
Okay.
so I'm invisible. You need to add me to editable objects.
Just teleport yourself. You know where it is. You've got Zeus, haven't you?
Ugh. Well, where are we going?
User joined your
I'll
channel.
teleport in there shortly. And I'm just gonna check that then you recruit in 1-1.
I can't even.
Leaders.
And that's why we have a thing called Zeus.
Crazy little thing called Zeus.
It's bit like they're giving you the recruit, but then Aquilina decided to show up and fuck up the numbers that I'd carefully crafted.
Well, check it now, because it should be there now.
What? Oh, you should be in the... Yeah, you are. I'll teleport now.
Yeah, see the magic? Yeah. You can also see my symbol above me, so yeah, all good.
Nice. Hey, I'm going to teleport them.
Oh, prepare your aims.
All call signs prepare for teleport. Over.
Prepare for teleport.
Prepare for teleportation.
Right, wherever we spawn in.
Oh, lads, you want to switch to helmets then?
No, Osborne, you go north, I'll grab west, Macau will grab east, and Daze grabs south, if we're not in a massive clustered huddle.
Okay, so I'm grabbing west, yeah?
No, I'll grab west, you grab east.
I know.
We just had a heart attack, I thought we'd need to...
Right, someone south.
Beam me up,
You
Sterling.
can be wherever you want, Osborne.
That'll be funny, yeah.
I'll watch the sky.
Okay, we're grabbing this garrison there.
Nice. Whisk.
Osborne,
What
have you in
should
there?
you do when you've got into a random situation like this in the wilderness?
Osborne, up in the tower.
You don't know what's going on.
Can I have you on the
You're
gate?
waiting new orders. Begins with A, ends in D. Ard. Add. I'll fucking slap you.
Osborne, get on the south side, look over the sandbags.
I've taken the harbour really far away so that we don't act like that. Oh, actually, Mission, you'll need to hear this, because otherwise you'll get, like, detained or shot for not knowing any of the...
Take eastern side in the bunker.
Hey, Ben.
Yeah.
Daze, where are you?
Just to your left, mate, covering south down
Not
the
the
road.
best
Oh, yeah, I see
AOD
you.
I've ever seen. It's actually more of an L shape, to be honest. I'm so glad there's not bad guys on the west side, otherwise we'd be very, very dead right now.
I heard Osborne try to...
Okay guys, this is where the two
Helmet's on
ICs
there as
talk
well.
to each other. Currently you've got 2 sec watching south and 1 sec watching northeast. We've got whole of east, east to south. But nobody has the north or the west. 1-2 Charlie, this is 1-1 Charlie, message over.
Send it 1-2 Charlie over.
Be advised 1-2 Charlie, 1-1 is covering north to south via the eastern side, over.
That's a negative 1-1 because I've got people in the bunker, 2 bunkers, and nobody from your section is here. Over.
They're outside.
Hey, we set up an ARD when we got teleported in, so
where?
we're outside the bunkers. Over.
Northwest.
Well, we got spawned and I naturally got everyone in here.
Well, tell him that.
What?
Tell him that. Oh. You're supposed to be communicating between each other, Spittle.
Oh,
I'm watching.
Okay.
You can also use control space.
1-1 Charlie, we're currently garrisoning the checkpoint. If you'd like to move around us, as I've only got 4 guys over.
Very like.
Oh, I forgot something.
From that?
1-2 Charlie, what arc are you covering, over?
Did I send that on section net?
No, I don't think you did. I think it's just replied there.
1-1 Charlie, we're currently mainly watching from southwest to east via the bunkers.
Acknowledge. acknowledged. One will try and go around you.
East by northern, we got west east by southern, so you know they actually got some bunker space because you can't really look out like up from south to north by the west and that without, you know.
Having a thing spawned that close to me is not good.
It was. I don't know how it managed to. I didn't tell it to. Very, very silly concrete barriers, but.
Dibs on the tower.
Everyone, make sure your helmet's on as well.
I was just wondering, how are any of you going to deal with incoming vehicles if you've got very few people standing ready to challenge them as they approach?
Yeah. You're in a checkpoint in an ARD.
Osborne.
Stanley, you have literally just put the concrete barriers out there.
No, I've got 6 net, yes. I think it makes more sense if we switch.
Well, you're perfectly capable of.
Mikhail, can I have you out here as well?
Right, all call signs, garrison the bunkers, with 1-2 watching southeast and 1-1 watching northwest. I wanted an ARD initially, and then we were going to move into garrison the fucking bunker, but yeah, it took bloody ages, never mind. Scrap it. Just get your arcs on the checkpoint instead.
Spittle, do you want me on the ground or in a bunker?
Just on the ground, we'll insert the vehicles. There's only one space out here, so you just stay inside, I'll be on the outside. Actually, you're right there, aren't you?
From now on, it's a new rule. Every time we're teleported somewhere, I want to see an instant ARD on the location unless told otherwise. How
So
about
when
that?
we start doing Indian Sentry, I'll put another concrete barrier.
That sound good for you guys? You guys were saying you wanted your guys to practice covering arcs and making ARDs.
Sounds like the perfect plan.
Yeah, no worries.
Yep. Fucking. Oh, I really enjoy that. Yep.
I was just waiting for you because I was just going to start school circling them straight away. I just wanted them over here so that we're not training the base on an airfield. But it's just going to be full SOPGs of the sentry and then have one section here,
No,
one
airfield,
approaching, and then swing around and just keep trying and maybe change it so it's not disappointment, challenging, being challenged.
All call signs on this net. School circle in the centre of the checkpoint. Over.
Right, hold on, guys.
Apologies for the confusion. I went off script and wanted to see how quickly you guys would throw an ARD up.
Mitchell, turn around.
Who's that over there?
Osborne is losing connection right now, so that could be him.
That's ours.
User in your channel timed out.
Yeah, it is.
I am here, Gib.
Yeah, make sure all you guys are on your section nets if they're not already, because sounds like people are struggling a bit.
User entered your channel.
Because Gray was standing up on the top of the bunker, my bad, mate. When he came down.
Right, listen in, guys.
Right, lads, safety's on.
Okay.
And listen up.
Yep.
Put your helmet on, that's running zone there.
So, something's off, we're going to be learning about the duties of a sentry. Now, in the past, we haven't really used this very much, however, we really should be, and it's a very useful thing to know, especially so that if I decide to sit at a checkpoint and challenge you, you don't sit there fumbling like, I can't remember what section it was, but I did this about a month ago, and they were completely oblivious. I had absolutely no idea what they should do. Because, I mean, what's the point of having a password given out if you don't actually ever use it? It's just a bit of a waste. So, now I'm going to teach you how to use that password. So, can anyone tell me what they think a sentry is and what they do? make sure you're yelling so that I can hear you. I don't think that was the right answer.
Rather
Sentry,
effeminate,
come on,
whoever
guys.
that was.
What do you think? What do you think a sentry is? What do you think a sentry does? Not too hard a question.
Looking.
Stop people.
Sweeping.
A sentry controls the flow of people in and out of an area.
Okay, we've had
That was really
stopping
well.
people and looking. Yeah, are two. It's the start of a good answer. Yeah.
I heard a better one.
Yeah.
Controlling people in and out of an area, which is
Guard duty, essentially.
Well, guard duty. Yeah, that's good. isn't it?
That's what a sentry is a guard.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, we're getting there. Like you guys know the answer. You just
Scared.
We think it's going to be a
Yeah.
trick question.
Well, no,
There
that's
are no
why I
trick
asked you what a
questions.
harbour area is and then picking a recruit. But that comes later, and that's my favourite part of the training.
sarcasm much.
Anyway, yeah. A sentry's job is to, well, officially among us is, eyes and ears of his unit, and if he does his job correctly, then he keeps his unit, be it section, platoon, whatever, safe and secure, because as we say, he's controlling everyone that walks into and out of a unit. Or out of an area, sorry. So if he is doing his job properly, that means we don't end up with 8 Russians walking into the middle of our ARD and then gunning us all down from behind. Or, for example, a civilian walking through this checkpoint and then detonating a bomb in the middle of it because he hasn't been searched. If a sentry fails to do his job properly, there can be some pretty serious consequences. Okay? So, I'm going to go through what you should know when you're a sentry, and if you don't know any of these things, make sure you ask your IC, because otherwise you won't be able to do your job effectively.
Duties of a sentry.
What was that?
Duties of a sentry.
Yes. Anyway, make sure that you know all of the following. Primarily, that you know and understand your orders. Because if you don't know the specifics of what you're supposed to be doing, who you're supposed to be challenging, or even where you're supposed to be challenging people from, you could quite quickly make a hash of the whole situation. Secondly, you need to know what to do if your position is approached by person or vehicles, instead of just go, oh shit, it's a car, and standing in the middle of the road looking like an umpty as he drives towards you at ever-increasing speeds and flattens you. Thirdly, that you always ask questions if you don't understand something, and the biggest example of this is, for example, weapons or whatever. If a civilian approaches you with a weapon, you need to know. You need to ask your IC and make sure you know for that operation, for that campaign, what is allowed. Is this particular firearm permitted? Is it not? Is this item contraband? And if they don't know, they'll ask someone more senior, and it'll keep going up until someone who knows the answer passes it back down, and then we can get things moving again. But that's pretty key, because on some scenarios, for example, even an AK might not be considered contraband, because, for example, it might be a common farmer's weapon or something like that. Whereas an RPG is never going to not be contraband. But you need to know for sure, because you don't want to let someone through with an AK when they're not supposed to have an AK, and you don't want to take someone's AK when you're not allowed to take that person's AK, because then they might get quite angry and come back with a bigger gun. Fingers crossed that doesn't happen. So anyway, you need to... I'll just do a quick recap because I've gone off on a bit of a tangent there. But you need to know and understand your orders, know what to do if you are approached by anything, and you need to ask questions if you're not sure about any of your orders, or where you're supposed to be, whatever. Then you need to know what ground to watch and the direction of the enemy. These two kind of interlink, because you don't want to be watching north if there are no enemies north and it's just a bunch of NATO troops, because that's just a waste of time and you're serving no purpose. And again, if you're watching into the side of a cliff, what ground to watch, that's not very sensible now, is it? I don't think anything's going to come at you from a cliff unless it's from the very, very top. And that will be a grenade dropped down your pants. And then a few other ones which are useful, although they're not always dealt with. I'd like to see them dealt with more. I know old 2 platoon was very fond of these. Last time we did checkpoints, they made quite a few reference points. But knowing the names of prominent landmarks, like, for example, if you look behind me to the north, do you see all those telephone poles? You could you get your IC to range every telephone pole out, and you could make it known throughout the section, the exact range of every single one, or even mark it on the map. And that allows you to know exactly how far a vehicle is, how much time you have before it reaches you when it's travelling at speed. Reference points are very useful if you're trying to make a judgment call on whether it's the correct time to fire a warning shot or neutralise the vehicle's tyres, or anything like that. If you're in an ARD, it could be for whether they're danger close. It could be also useful in determining arcs, for example, between a particular, for example, between a tree and a rock over there. That could be your arc. Set in stone, if anything approaches from within there, you need to be challenging it or whatever. The point is, make sure you use the landscape, make sure you use ranges, make sure you plan in advance, because it means that in the heat of the moment, everything will be so much easier. Does that make sense?
Yep.
And now onto a slightly different area, which is other friendly units, and what you should know about them. You need to know where other sentries are, because you don't want to challenge another sentry or accidentally shoot another sentry, so you're a bit jumpy. And you need to know about friendly patrols, or any friendly elements that might be passing through the area whilst you're on duty. Because if you know that a friendly convoy is expected to come down this road in about 20 minutes, you're going to be ready to challenge that convoy. You're going to be prepared and expected to be friendly, rather than have 4 armoured vehicles roll around the corner and that oh shit moment. No one likes that. So again, it ties into being prepared, because it will speed things up. And as you're going to find out when we do civilian interaction, every second counts, and every second could be the difference between neutralising a vehicle, or having it ram into the side of the checkpoint and kill people. Okay? So, hopefully you've either written that down, or you've got a vague concept of how important prior planning and preparation is. We don't want to see any piss poor performance. Finally, arguably the most important is the password. If you don't have the password, which I will outline shortly, you can't really challenge anyone effectively, because they could just be a British guy dressed up with equipment from one of your fallen comrades, and he could con his way into your checkpoint and fuck you up. So in theory, the password would be, we have a new one every mission, and it is done so that if an enemy gets our password on a past mission, they can't come up, challenge us, and get in safely, so to speak. As an ally, we can clearly tell who is actually a friend and who isn't. So you need to be strict on stuff like this. If another section approaches you and doesn't know the password, then don't let them into your formation. Even if you recognise the section, you need to turn them back and tell them that you don't know if they're friendly or not. Okay? If they don't know a password,
they could be a rogue section.
Yeah. If they don't know the password, they could be anyone, and you don't know for sure that they are even British or Allied forces. Even if you recognise people in there, it should be. Oh, hello, right. It should be standard operating procedure not to let anyone in that doesn't know the password. Is that clear?
Obviously, ICs would need to keep contact with command if they come across any situations like this.
Yeah.
Me and Sterling need to know about this sort of thing. If you've got a full section of guys in British kit that don't know the password,
user joined your
that's a serious
channel.
issue, and we need to know about that.
Yeah. And if you ever think, any of you think that a password's been compromised, like you hear someone mouthing it in a house nearby or around a corner because they've overheard you, because you're yelling when you were challenged, more on that later, you need to inform your ICs immediately so that the password can be changed and we don't have non-friendly units getting into our formations, okay?
Laurie, you're in.
User joined your channel.
Cool. Well, onto the password. Can anyone tell me anything about a standard infantry password?
It's usually made up of 4 letters.
Yep.
Give phonetic.
Yep. Native phonetic alphabet. Can anyone give an example of a challenge and a response using a 4-letter password?
Charlie uniform November Tango.
Yep. So which bit's the challenge and which
Okay,
bit?
the sentry would say the first two. Approaching party would say the.
Yep. So you split it in half, and then each. Well, the 2 letters are 2 words basically. So as they said, Charlie uniform would be a challenge, and then as Simon said, the approaching section's point man would say November Tango, and at that point, the password's been given, everything's checking out, and you probably let them into your formation, unless something very suspicious is going on, like they've got an AK poking out of their back pocket, or bomb vest, or they're not in British gear. That's when it gets fishy. So it is still up to the ICs, I guess, whether they let the people in, even if they know the password, and that ties into knowing what the friendly movement within the area is going to be. Because if you know that convoy's coming, and they give you the right password, chances are they're the correct convoy. But if they are unscheduled, they show up, they look a bit shifty, and they stumble with a password, they might have just ambushed the convoy, they might not be the convoy, they might have killed some other British troops, and they might be masquerading to try and exploit you after they get within the walls of this PB, well not PB, checkpoint. Does that make sense? Especially to you, Gibbons and Spittle, because you're the ones that will be making these kinds of calls.
Yeah, you mean like the 2 signallers that just turned up? They're shady looking motherfuckers.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
They just wandered on in, like, I don't know who they are.
Yeah, we didn't challenge them. Anyway, that's all the backstory, well, so to speak. Does anyone have any questions about that before we go on to the actual procedure?
Yeah, I want to hear. Can you recap everything for me?
I'll recap everything for you.
We'll recap it for you.
Oh,
yeah,
thank you guys.
Well, TLDR, Worry. Lots of prior planning. Ask any questions about anything you don't know, and I know you know what a password is, so. And I'll send you the SOP afterwards.
Wait, is this duties of a sentry?
Yep, we're just duties of sentry.
I know it off by heart, don't worry about it.
Cool. So,
that sounded like
let's go on to how to challenge.
Take a test.
I think you should test Worry on this because
Go on, give me a test, boys.
I feel like I want to test Worry on it, actually.
Go on.
Yeah.
I'll test you at the end. We'll go through it all, and then I'll...
Do it now. I want to see how much knows.
Oh, it's embarrassing if I get it wrong in front of
What's the
one person.
first thing you should do when you see movement that may not be friendly troops, Worry?
Well, when they come to your line and they say halt 1-4 to be recognised.
Wrong.
No, before that.
Before that, and then 1 IC.
If you see any movement at all outside your ARD or your P, what's the first thing you do? You're the only one that's seen it.
You shout halt who goes there.
Nope.
Nope.
Contact
tell your IC.
Give it a contact call.
I
said sighting.
Yep, that's it. You need
Ready
to
or
let the
IC?
section commander know.
Alright, I'll go for the whole thing if you want, really.
Yeah, go for it.
Halt 1 to be recognised, 1 comes forward, you give him some questions, what's the password? You say first 2. He replies, and if he gets it correct, you can ask him some other questions, like, who's the sergeant, and who's platoon sergeant. Gets that right, he steps forward next to you. Then you get him to, each one of his men that come up, you get them. They'll say, do you know this guy? If he says yeah, you let them in. But beforehand, you should always ask how many's in his section. You should count them in. And you should warn your IC that friendlies are coming in as well.
Yeah, a few. I'll go through the official version because there are a few things which I think have been just additions or slight changes depending on convenience towards ICs. But first thing you do if you see any movement at all, as you all know, this is not unique to duties of sentry at all. Is you inform your section commander so that he knows exactly what's going on. So maybe rough numbers, where they're coming from, how fast they're moving, whether they look hostile, all the usual stuff. When they get closer, within yelling range, you say halt, and you wait for this approaching element to halt. Then, still on yelling, you say advance 1 and be recognised. And you wait for the...
User left your channel.
But it could be the leader of the patrol in theory. I'd prefer to see DMRs over as much as hassle. To move forwards until he is close enough to you for you to be able to talk on whisper. and then you say halt again. I know that's very close, and this could be quite risky. You can do it in normal in the pinch if you're feeling a bit nervous. However, the louder you're being when it comes to yelling normal voice, the more likely it is for someone nearby to overhear a password, especially in an urban environment or if it is a busy location. So, anyway, when you think they're close enough, basically as close as possible without it being dangerous, and so that you can actually talk to them. Because if he isn't friendly, you might have a suicide vest on or try to put a gun on you. You don't want him being too close. Your own guys might hit you whilst trying to hit him, if that's the case. But then you tell him to halt again, and you challenge him with the first 2 letters of the password. So our favourite example appears to be Charlie Uniform. And then if he responds correctly with the last 2 letters, which in this case would be November Tango, you... At this point, you would, in theory, ask him to approach more, but as we've already discussed, you can do it on Whisper, and at that point, he's too close as it is. You ask him how many men are in his patrol, as Rory mentioned a bit late, so he slipped his mind. This is important, because you don't want anyone to run up to the back of an extended line and sneak in behind all your guys. Perhaps poor Private First Class Writers at the back, he's feeling
User
a bit
joined
dozy.
your channel.
A bit of a nap, he hasn't checked behind him. This individual tags along, follows you in, and then, as I keep saying, take you out from the inside. Even just drop a grenade, he can wound 3 or 4 of you. You need to be on it, and you need to make sure that every single man is accounted for. So you ask how many men are in the patrol, and then you stand with the point man of the approaching patrol, and you count every man in to make sure the total is correct. That's the fast way. In theory, you could, as Rory said, wait for each one to come forwards and then do the long way that Spitter likes. But
the right
personally, I think counting them in is far easier, rather than asking if you recognise each man. However, you're not going to be penalised for either, but just remember, the longer you're out there sitting on the road in a column, the more dangerous it is for the element outside. Okay?
Okie dokie.
So does anyone want to try and go through that procedure from memory, apart from Rory, and then I'll go through it again far more concisely rather than explaining the logic behind everything, just so that it's easy to remember. Any volunteers? Or am I going to have to pick someone, like a signaller?
I'd like to see the signalers do it.
We all know they're incompetent, so let's see them do it.
I mean, I didn't insult them.
No,
so
I don't know if
I think
Osborne's got to do it.
I don't know if they've seen it all. Let's choose Sokolov actually. See if our buddies have been listening. Sokolov.
Yeah.
Get on yelling and just give it your best shot. Doesn't matter if you get things wrong. That's the point. I'm trying to figure out what is the hardest thing to remember, and we can focus on a bit more. Okay. I think I made him too shy. Let's choose Jurgens then. He's got nice glasses. Jurgens, you give it a go.
Okay, so what's the scenario?
No, did you say?
Is it just friendly forces approaching, or?
Just how to challenge. Not when you're challenged, just how to challenge. If you're standing here in a patrol approaching, what do you do?
If they're friendly force, it's halt. Approach 1, be recognized. The one approaching will 10 out of 10 times will be the point man, depending if they lost their point man or whatever. But yeah, point man approaches close enough that you can challenge him. You challenge him with the first 2 letters of the password. Our example is Charlie Uniform, and then he replies with the last 2 letters of the password. It's November Tango. And then if he correctly gets a challenge, then you ask him further questions if you want to. Like, you need to ask him how many men does he have in patrol, and basically where he's off to, if he's just joining the CP or just passing through. And then, if you're satisfied that he is a friendly force, then you can start sending the guys through while the point man is sitting with you. Then, yeah, you just count them off. Make sure everyone's accounted for. After that, pretty much
Perfect. You missed only 2 small things, and they're the things I expected to be missed because they're the annoying ones. You forgot to. First thing you do is inform your section commander. I know I said you see him approaching, but we assume you're the only one that's seen him so far. So I can't stress that enough. Make sure everyone's on the lead. You don't want a bunch of random people approaching and having you be the only person that knows that's the case. Then inform your section commander, and remember the second halt. You need to forcefully tell them when to stop, when they're close enough for you to challenge them, okay?
Yeah, it's up to you as a sentry. It's up to you as a sentry to be in control of that situation from start to finish. As soon as you lose control of the situation, people you don't want coming into the harbour area or the ARD can start coming in. You need to be... You outrank anyone at that point.
Yeah, you're a general.
But even if I come in as second lieutenant and go, this is my fucking ARD, get out the way, get out the way.
User joined
Doesn't
your
matter.
channel.
You're the sentry. Your job is to challenge me and stop me and boss me about. So remember, halt. An advanced one will be recognised, and the second halt, and then you do the password.
Yeah. In that situation, you're a fucking field marshal, and everyone that's approaching is a bloody recruit. That makes it easier. None of them.
The situation where an enemy could dress up as an officer and get past you.
Yeah.
Which happened in the Second World War with the SAS.
Yeah.
They managed to get through the Italian lines by doing that.
But no exceptions, basically. So I'm just going to summarise it quickly. So, step 1, inform your section commander. Be on radio or locally. Step 2, say halt, wait till they stop. Step 3, advanced one will be recognised. Step 4, tell them to halt again when it's close enough to speak to them. Step 5, challenge them with the first 2 letters. Step 6, wait for the correct response, if this is given. Move on to step 7, where you will potentially ask him to approach closer, if he's not close enough already, and then count the men in. Well, sorry, I fucked up. Ask him how many men are in the patrol, and finally, ask him to count them in, okay? Simple. Does anyone want to have a guess at what you have to do when you're that challenged individual?
Oh, pick me!
I pick Worry again.
Oh, how lovely. Basically, when you're walking up, depends if you know it's there or not. You might just get halted from a bush. Might be quite surprised. But yeah, you sort of stand still. You tell everyone in the line to halt. You obviously listen just to the commands they give you. So if they tell you to stay where you are, you don't walk forward. Sort of thing. You know, you can probably radio into a section commander. You're halting. You're going through a checkpoint or whatnot. So you go forward. They ask you the questions. You give the correct one. They may ask you some further questions to prove that you are who you say you are. Then you sort of go in, you sit next to them, or they should ask you to, and then you actually no, that's the wrong way. I'll just give them like who's in your section, what you've been doing. So you say if you're patrolling the area, or if you're moving from point A to B, you would tell them that.
Very good, Worry. I'm going to simplify that a shit ton and just say, do exactly what they tell you. There are a few more things that I'm about to add, but long and short of it is, do exactly what they tell you. Don't do anything they don't tell you to do. As you said, Warren, don't start running towards the voice. You might get shot. Just listen to them. If they tell you to halt, then halt. And as you said, tell your IC, and the IC will make sure that you are all holding, and preferably on a knee in a bush. Well, not in a bush. You don't want to scare the checkpoint guys, but make sure you try and get a... You're not just standing there in the middle of the road like it is. Make sure you at least take a knee. I wouldn't recommend going prone. As I said, you don't want to spook anyone unless you take fire and then things change. But yeah, take that knee. Make sure you're holding. Make sure you're listening. And then you're going to be going forwards, doing exactly what he tells you. And when you get there, you need to know the last 2 letters of the password and the challenge, ideally, so that you can respond to him and not... because if you get the password wrong, you're probably not going to be let into that checkpoint, even if you come up with it a bit later. You need to know exactly what it is. And you need to also know how many men are in your patrol, because otherwise he's going to ask you, nobody go, oh, shit.
Add one more thing, Sterling.
And quickly, finally, don't approach the checkpoint with weapons raised, you will probably, you'll at the least have warning shots fired at you. And at most, you might get lit up by an overzealous checkpoint manner. What was that word?
I just add one thing.
Yep.
I just don't shout the password over fucking loud.
Yeah, as I've already mentioned, try and stay on normal at most, preferably whisper, okay?
Yeah, so again, just to recap, when challenged, when told to halt, IC or patrol formation leader will command his section to halt and take a knee. IC or leader, i.e. the point man, should be able to tell correctly the sentry how many men are in his patrol, obviously after giving second half of the password. And yeah, weapons never raised when approaching checkpoint or sentries. Quick recap there.
A little mini TLDR here for each person involved in the patrol. But quickly, before we go there, any questions about those two procedures first?
I got one.
Yep.
What do you do if they give the wrong password?
Fuck off.
Inform your IC immediately and tell them that they're not going to be coming in.
Do you give them like multiple chances or like?
No.
You don't shoot straight away. You can't shoot straight away.
No, you don't want to shoot them. You want to turn them back, and if they start getting aggressive, that's when you get ready with the warning shots or.
Yeah, I mean, inform your section IC, and your section IC, obviously, then that's when you take a back seat as a sentry, and your section IC is now in charge of dictating how the overall tactics of the situation works out. You as the sentry has done your job challenging, they haven't given the right password. You tell your section IC, these guys aren't giving me the right password, and then that's the point where your entire section is made to stand to from whatever the hell they were doing. Immediately figure out what the hell is going on the southern side of the ARD, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
But say, for example, say 1-2 is holding the ARD, and, sorry Harmon, you are in front of me, so I'm just going to pick on you. Harmon comes in and gives me the wrong password, but I know it's Harmon, so I'll call it in anyway, and obviously in real life he could probably get deducted a month's pay for being a numpty. But yeah. But what'll happen is you'll still get the section in, it's just he will be disciplined from then on.
I'll get my platoon sergeant to stick his foot up his arse.
What I'd do is get them to walk away, tell them to leave, and then if they come back afterwards, having talked to whoever's Gray or myself and said, I'm an idiot, we don't know the password, could you let me know? And then we tell them or whatever. If they come back and you challenge them and they get it right first time, I mean, we all know each other, so it's being sensible, but at the same time, even if it's just for tonight, I want people to be really strict, just so that you don't get away with stuff. That being said, don't be ridiculous. If someone comes up and they say like, and they stutter or they slip of the tongue and they correct themselves, or they just sound like a bit of an idiot, it's up to you as a sentry to decide whether to cut them some slack or if they really shouldn't be let in or whatever. Okay. So there's an element of common sense, but you also need to be harsh because extenuating circumstances, you don't know what's happened. Come up with some really obscure random situation that I guarantee would never happen. Say they'd taken someone hostage and somehow had power over him or enough, or something to motivate him to give the correct challenge, and maybe the guys behind them aren't your own, and then he fucks up the password, maybe on purpose. Should you really be letting those people in? It's tough. So it's up to you as a sentry and your IC, who you'll be communicating with, to make the decisions on the fly. But this procedure has to be followed. So if people are fucking it up, they need to be punished and told to promptly fuck off until they can get it right, basically. Okay? In a campaign, maybe if shots start being fired, you might be able to expedite this or excuse them if you recognise them and they slightly say the password and then correct themselves. But tonight, I don't want to see any of that. And if I hear a password given incorrectly and then they're let in, yeah. We're training the concept tonight, so be harsh. Is that clear?
Yep. Question.
Hey,
yep. Say the point man gets the password wrong, but the IC can sort of come forward and give the correct password. In that situation, what would you do?
I'm in.
As I said, it's up to you in the IC. If you aren't wanting to make that decision, ask your IC. In an op, if that happened, and I see a corporate come forward, oh, you fucking idiot, is this?
Yeah.
I would probably let them in, but I'm going to ask you all tonight, be harsh in situations like that. I might even tell people to get passwords wrong on purpose. I might, come invisible on whisper, come up to someone and say, I want you to say this instead. So I need you all to be. Yeah, I need you all to be strict. Cool?
Cool.
Yeah, boy.
There's a quick TLDR. If you're part of the challenge patrol, make sure you know the password and the location of any friendly positions, harbour areas, checkpoints, PBs, anything like that. And if you're challenged, halt and take a knee. And it's your IC's or your point man's job to brief the sentry that's challenging you on the numbers of your patrol and intent, identity,
User joined your channel.
Outhouse, meet your mic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Stop going in the kitchen.
And finally, you need to keep all local comms quiet to avoid giving away your intel, like passwords, to nearby enemies hiding in bushes, especially if it's a harbour area. Okay?
Will we be switching up the password?
I might switch it up, but I'll be telling Gray, and then he'll be calling it into your ICs. So it's their job to make sure you're up to speed.
Sweet.
I might be really mean and do it just as people are approaching as well. I mean, it's not that realistic, but if our password did get released in an op, we would be changing as fast as possible. Okay?
Can I just make an interrogative?
Yep.
That would also be the exact same as if one of our radios got taken. It's happened previously, someone gets captured and the radio gets taken. If somebody's radio is compromised, you inform your IC, who will probably be on the net anyway, but your IC will then pass up the chain of command and inform chain of command that the radio channel will be changed. He will then tell you closely with around the people, so he will gather you in and change it with you in front of you. He will not radio it.
Please don't. Yeah, please don't go on the radio and be like, I've got a radio that's compromised, we're switching to 339.
Yeah. But I just thought we should make that point.
We did that during Cossack, but yes, both situations are very similar. You gather your guys together and verbally tell them, right, the frequency/password has changed to this. Yeah.
We have that in the document.
Password's normally in the document, yep.
No, like if someone steals a radio, told what an alternate frequency as the ICs.
The IC will designate it.
Okay.
So, for instance, if my radio net's compromised, I might change it. So we're 111.0. I might change it to 111.5. Okay.
Technically, I think Harman's right though. And emergency net should be in the
should be
command warning and stuff. But anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it's certainly never been told to me. So.
Might be an option to implement.
But, possibly. Anyway, I'm going to let Sterling get on with his training that he's doing. We're getting a bit off topic there.
Anyway, so that's what you should know as patrol. That was basically just a TLDR. You should all know it. Anyway, I'm not reiterating now. But if you are the sentry, and you're sitting in a harbour area or friendly position and challenging people approaching, you need to make sure you are briefed on the password too, because otherwise you'll be a bit stuffed when you tell them to halt, and then you just sit there going, shit.
I've seen in the past, in a campaign, a sentry challenged a patrol that was coming up to the checkpoint he was holding, said, halt, and then asked them what the password was.
Yeah.
Said halt, advanced want to be recognised, he got those bits right, just in the wrong fucking order, and then they walked up to the checkpoint and he said, oh, what's the password? To the guys he's supposed to be challenging. They could have given him anything. They could have said, the password is flange, and walked straight in the checkpoint.
I think that was me, Gray.
I can't remember.
I was a newbie.
We had it as well when
Dave, you still are a newbie.
Notified what it was.
Anyway, sorry, Sterling, please. Yeah, go back.
That's a good point, though, ICs. Make sure you don't have sentries who are not confident or familiar with the duties of the sentry.
It actually says in the in the SOP, ICs ensure their sentries are reliable. It's actually in quotation marks.
I'd recommend PFCs usually.
because
Alright, don't be mean.
they need to be, they need, or good privates. That's up to you to decide what I mean by that.
Well,
Because
I'm
they
neither, so bugger.
Yeah.
No, but you're basically an acting recruit, so it's fine.
They need to be prepared to make these calls, as I've said, because it's them and the IC basically working together, deciding whether it's safe to let people in. So if you've got a recruit that doesn't even understand the SOP, anyone can get in, as Grace said, just like if you had to ask them what the password was. Cool? But anyway, you need to know that you know the password, and you need to know of any friendly elements within the AO and what direction they should be in, combined with what direction the enemy are thought to be in. Because, as I keep saying, if you know that friendlies are expected to be approaching, it's going to be much easier to deal with them. And if you know that 100 metres down the road to your southeast is, I don't know, a fucking massive NATO base, it's unlikely that you're going to be approached by enemies from that location. So you might, especially with low numbers, might think about not... User disconnected from your channel. Okay? Now, if you're a sentry and you're not in, well, even if you're here, make sure you're in good cover and concealment. For example, someone said, getting challenged from a bush, that would be perfect. They don't know where you are, you catch them a bit by surprise, and they're not going to be able to fix your position in a hurry if they are enemy, and they're just going to turn around and try to shoot you. And try to know if any friendly patrols, for example, maybe even your other fire team, are going to be approaching your checkpoint, harbour area, whatever, from the direction you're covering, because it ties into other friendly units. Even if they're involved in the 6th, you want to know exactly where they are. So ask your IC if you're unsure, because they'll have heard on platoon now. Then you need to make sure that if a friendly patrol is approaching you, you do make yourself known, and you do need to challenge them and be quite strict about it if you doubt their identity at all. Please make yourself known in advance so you're not 5 metres away and just, on whisper in a bush, halt! Because that is stupid for so many reasons, I'm not going to bother explaining why. And finally, if you are given the order to stand to, it means hostile patrol is approaching, or your position's under fire, or the patrol on the road outside dressed in British uniforms might not be British. It basically means stop whatever the fuck you're doing if you're fucking around. Get to the nearest arc if you're not assigned to anything, for example in a PP or whatever, and be ready to shoot shit. If you're on your arc already, get your eyes out, be ready. You'll be told further information by your Cs afterwards, but if an IC gives a stand to order, you need to be ready to engage enemies, okay? And finally, this one's for you, Sec ICs. Make sure your sentry's reliable, as Grace said, and make sure you briefed him on absolutely everything he needs, and quiz them if you tell him something and he's like, yeah, I guess. That usually means he doesn't know what you've told him, and that is asking for trouble, like a fucked up password or whatever down the line. And finally, try to communicate with your sentry on radio, so you're not walking right up to his position and away from it, because if there are enemy recce elements nearby, they might spot that and figure out where your sentry is, okay? That all makes sense? Any further questions about the slightly long TLDRs?
I just have one.
Yep.
Which is, how far out would you generally post a sentry?
Well, it's up to the IC in the situation, but I personally wouldn't really put one above 50 metres away, because I don't want him to be away by himself. Yeah, you want them quite close, because otherwise they're unsupported.
Yeah, it's in the SOP.
In the harbour area, SOP as 100 up to 100 metres away, and clearance patrols go out 300 metres. That's a harbour area.
I was going to say
it's the same there.
Checkpoints.
Yeah, but the two overlap in that regard.
It is
maximum of 100 metres. You can go below that.
Yeah,
but no further than that, really.
Depends on day and night, I thought. So
yes.
say it's 100, and if it's night, you want them a lot closer.
Exactly, and it depends on how much cover and concealment you have to work with. Obviously, here, in this situation, you can see for miles, so you could maybe send right up to the maximum 100 meters, send your sentries out. If it was pitch fucking black, and your night visions weren't very good, or it's foggy or something, visibility is low, you maybe only want them, I don't know, you see that first stone wall out to my southeast? Maybe only that far, just as almost a tripwire type thing, where they see the guys coming through the fog slightly earlier than everyone else does.
Yeah. And it's 6, do we have 2 sentries, or 1?
All situational.
I mean, like, when you send a sentry, is it a team of 2?
No.
Alright.
We've normally done it as one person.
It's one person during the day and then 2 people at night.
Fair enough. That's not in the SOPs, actually. That's another SOP rewrite thing that I need to note down. Good point.
And then with the daytime, people just come and go as they please. But then with nighttime, it's like one always stays on while the other goes back and gets another person to swap with him.
That's all about
I
mean, IRL.
But when it comes down to the 6th, unfortunately, we aren't always as we don't have as many members as we'd like. For example, tonight. So even then, with low numbers, I think the 1 in both situations should be fine.
We also don't need to sleep, which is the reason why you only have.
You know me, I'm an idealist, though. I am trying to make this as realistic as possible.
Yeah.
So if it's little things like you don't go out on your own during a night op, and you have 2 people with you, it's realism at the end of the day, so we should maybe try and adopt that. But enough on that, we'll discuss it later. Let's continue with the training. Sorry, Sterling.
Okay, any more questions?
I got like the stupid one.
Yeah.
You know, you have the EOD mirrors.
Yeah.
Like the ones you look below vehicles. Is it actually possible to put the ID below the vehicle?
I don't. With the new mod, I don't know, but there's a button to search the whole vehicle, and they're just sticking blocks of explosives to it. You can't really get under there, but they can hide them in pretty silly places. So. Okay. Could I have 1, and 2 line up then, just on opposite sides of this little checkpoint, and we'll do some challenge here.
1-1 will take it northwest.
Okay, do you want to observe one side and I'll do the other?
1, 2, take up previous positions and south.
So previous positions are inside the checkpoint.
Judge, I want to mean like that. We're going to be doing some practice challenging among the elements. So, in fact, let's split up into fire teams. Let's have 1-1 as a fire team on either side, challenging, approaching people, and 1-2. I'd like you to move the fire team out of the base 50 meters in both directions and be ready to approach.
Sterling.
Acknowledges out.
Sterling, I have 4 people.
That's fine.
So I mean, I'm only 1 fire team.
Yep. So Delta west southeast, Charlie.
Just
west.
have a
2 from each side.
Okay.
You want 2 each side or?
Harlequin here. Where's Mitchell below? I'll get them to approach me.
Section, form up northwest on the road.
Want to move off to the southeast and approach and be challenged by people.
Aqua outside, please.
Go right to the junction.
Yeah, I think so. Harder.
Say again?
Right to the junction.
Roger. Staggered cooler?
Yeah, eventually. When we get there.
Touchdown.
What's the password for tonight?
They haven't set it.
Fantastic.
Well, they haven't
I'm
set
guessing
it.
you want a space in your hallways, yeah?
No, facing towards the checkpoint.
Did you get the spell, or did I just...
Yeah, I can hear you.
All call signs on this net. Password is Charlie Uniform November Tango.
Standard password.
Over.
Hold there, Oswald.
Let me know to start approaching spill.
I would recommend they close the barrier first.
Must have heard you spill.
I don't want Eager to approach out.
Not moving out. Take it to a jog first, Osborne, then we'll walk it in when we get a bit closer.
Roger.
Go on.
Yeah, if I do that suddenly, just ignore it. I'll sort myself out in a minute or two, because my PC does a weird thing every now and again. And I'll drop it down to a walk in about 5 seconds.
Walk. Hold.
Recognized. 10 meters in front. I'm going. I'll tell you when to stop.
Where's that damn drone?
Right above.
I'm trying to see it. I can't see. Ah, there it is. It'd be a shame if I just Zeus deleted it.
Osborne, we play to move in or no?
Hasn't called us yet.
Alright lads, move up one by one.
1-0, this is 1-1, be advised we have a friendly section entering the checkpoint.
So, Mikhail, you shuffle it forward to my
We have
previous
challenged
position, kind of thing.
They've got the password right, we're just moving them in slowly now.
Roger that. How many men in that element? Over.
There are 4 men coming into the section. Over.
Roger out.
Next man.
Be advised 1-0. We also have eyes.
You should have halted me still, Worry.
Over. Of a friendly.
Hey, fam.
I thought it was fine to just carry on. Still, question.
Roger that. Challenge the massey approach still
I'd
anyway.
recommend
Over.
jogging in, just save time.
Acknowledged.
Go back up to
Pass
that side
Dart
and approach at a different garden point.
Hey, fam.
I don't want
Do you want me to go the other side, that side?
No, just back out again.
Alright.
They're going to be swapping the challenger. Don't bother with your ICs if you're confident that you and Mikhail know what you're doing. Just get that guy. And then 1-1 will be swapping with you and you'll challenge them.
Okay. Well, I'll run back up. Let's run back up now.
Wait for them with fire.
And we'll stop about here.
Spill, we going back up to meet you up there?
Yeah, meet us back up there when you're in. Question 4.
1-0, be advised. The 4 men from 1-2 have entered the checkpoint. They're now moving out from the checkpoint again to the northwest.
Right, who's this in front? There's Osborne. Swap a Daesh for me, please.
There's Urena, come up to the front, mate.
Oh yeah.
What is the password?
Charlie uniform. November Tango.
Okie dokie.
Alright, advance.
Can I just say our staggered columns are looking fabulous today?
1-0,
Apart from Osborne being a bit too close to you.
Friendly control to the northwest. We'll proceed to question.
There you go. Daesh.
Yeah, call
Daesh. Whenever you hear halt, you got to pass it along to us because I didn't hear a thing.
Alright, okay.
All halt.
I swear to God, I'm going to shoot that damn thing.
Still here. Lightning bolt.
Yeah, but lightning bolt's not. It's a bit conspicuous.
The drone.
1-0, this is 1-1 Charlie, message, over.
Go ahead, 1-1 Charlie, over.
We have stopped and challenged a section from 1-2 to the northwest.
First man, come up.
We are now proceeding, they've got the
Tell him that
right,
tell him that the sentry should be the one calling me in.
Over.
Roger then. How many men in that element, over?
There is 4 men, over.
Must be return to Roger, got radio comms between each other.
Yeah, no, but technically the
1-1 Delta,
actual
this is 1-0
sentry should be the one in
over.
control.
Fair game.
Yeah, he's calling you and yelling now, so.
Well, he doesn't have a loud voice.
1-1 Delta, this is 1-0, message over.
1-0-1-1 Delta, go ahead, sir.
Sit rep, over.
We have 4 inbound from the northeast.
Jurgens, were you on yelling then?
Wasn't normal.
Well, you need to go and yelling to call people in until they get close. Because I couldn't hear you at all.
Coming in, over.
Yeah.
Roger that. How many men should be in that element, over?
Yeah, don't rely on radios if you want to keep this in local.
Over.
Okay. Okay.
Roger out.
There we go.
Who's your next man?
Next man would be
Fiddling
Mikhail.
with these things, Sterling. It's
I've
dangerous.
descended 3 on each side. It's done now.
Dangerous, Sterling.
You can approach.
Do you want anyone else?
No, not really.
Okay.
On your side of the road, obviously.
Right, let's proceed.
Yeah,
I'll take over from the station.
Okay.
Let's go and get a ARD formed on the right side.
So it's actually, if Harmon doesn't...
You call halt here, Jurgens. Presume this is night time.
Then,
Okay.
Tend to halt.
Get a bit close.
Halt.
Get a bit close.
Yeah, you want to go a bit further out. Right. Now you want to ask me if I recognise this man.
Yeah, I was about to.
Okay, I recognise him, so you can say... So I recognise him, so you can actually order him now to bring him in.
Okay.
Remember, you're the sentry. I don't tend to come in. You're the one that's in control.
Be advised, 1-1 Delta,
Yeah.
your microphone is cutting out, so slightly over.
This is your last man.
Acknowledge
This would be Osborne.
Osborne, you may approach.
You need to be louder than that.
Guns down. Okay, hold. Do you recognize
I
him?
recognise him, yes.
Okay, you can approach the boss. Osborne.
Okay. How many men was that?
That was 4.
Yeah, remember that. There might be a guy tagging along.
Yeah.
If I told you 4 and there's a 5th guy, even if we do recognise him, it means that someone's buggered it.
Last man, St. Gibbons.
Roger.
We're going to move out. We're going to go out to the area.
Alright, Osborne's going to stand next to Macau.
So we're going to go this way. Come on, to the northwest.
Sterling.
Where 1-2.
What am I doing now?
You're going to challenge them with your fire team. Rotate it amongst your guys.
Definitely not a spy.
Section garrison northwestern side of the checkpoint. I want Osborne on point first.
Spittle?
Yes?
If any of you guys feel like they want another go, they feel like what's been done, let me know and I'll arrange it.
Well, there's nothing to go through anyway.
Yeah, I know, but I want to make sure everyone is bang on.
Yeah, so
They
Osborne...
have a man down already.
I need just...
Okay, so remember Osborne, you go on yelling immediately.
Yeah, I'm already on yelling, mate.
Who goes there? Ask them who they are. If they
Ask them a few cheeky questions, try and screw them up a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, in real life, you'd ask them because I mean, you don't really want to be using your password in case it gets out or somebody's being sneaky around you. You can listen in. You'd like to ask them like obscure questions that only they would know, like say, "What did you have for breakfast?"
I'm going to be kind of mean and ask them some questions they might not know the answer to because, you know, testing purposes.
Yeah, like you'd ask them like, "What did you have for breakfast this morning?" Because obviously only they would know the answer to that.
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily take it.
Ask them when the user was phone.
It's roleplay, so you could ask them like, "Oh, what do you have for breakfast this morning?" And you'd be like, "Oh yeah, that's us."
Still, when I ask them when in uniform, what do I do when they don't answer correctly?
Say again?
What do I do when they don't answer correctly when I ask them what uniformed?
No, I relay up the chain of command. Alright, hold them. It's getting close. Osborne.
Oh yeah, shit. Hold.
That's way too. That's way too close.
I was shouting it. I've got out of PDT. My bad. First man approach.
And for sake of it, just hold him there again.
Come on, keep close, mate.
And hold him there.
Right. Come here a little bit further towards me, and then we can. Go. Right, stop there. Hello. What's your name?
Good evening. Aqua.
And then
Charlie uniform.
November Tango.
When was the unit formed?
Yeah, I've heard he does. And so after the challenge.
You know, you want to ask those questions before you say password, or is it redundant?
I don't even, to be honest, that's a bit of an unfair question because I don't even know when.
Units formed in 1942, part of the parachute expansion, or 1940, I can't remember which. Anyway, get him in. You do those random questions before you say the standard password, because you don't want to use the password anyway. Aqua,
right, how many
sit next to
people
him.
we've used?
4, including myself.
Cool. Next man, alright. Next man, come on down.
So this time, Osborne, instead of... So go on yelling for this one, because he can't hear you.
Yeah, I am on yelling. Next man, come on.
Oi, numpty. So for this one, instead of using your password straight away, use a random obscure question.
I don't have to now.
Wait.
Stop.
Back it up.
Yeah, Osborne, you got on top of this.
This man?
Delta, this is 1-0 message over.
Cool, come in.
1011 Delta.
Come on in.
Come on in, Warwick.
40 is
you need to be
approaching
halting
you
them
from
before they
the
get to that first barrier.
Yep.
Over.
Next man.
Acknowledge have the vehicle in sight. 1
Next
Delta.
man.
This is a freaking barrier. Osborne.
Smell, shall I get on barrier duty?
Do you recognise this man?
Yes, that's Gibbons.
Come on in.
Okay, as Gibbons is the IC, Gibbons, take over from Aqua, because you're going to be the person that knows everyone in your section.
Yep, that's fine. Set up an ARD Aqua.
Yeah, can you radio to your last man and come on down because you don't think you'll be able to hear me.
Jurgens, come on down, mate.
How come you wasn't second in line, though?
I'm actually going to be setting it up to do it actually how the military do it, which is not IC is not second, it's third.
Okay.
Halt there, noble steed.
Halt.
Do you recognise this geezer?
I do. That is my PTE, Jurgens.
Come on in, boy.
Hello there, young squires.
Hello, noble star.
Dave, push up front and take over from Osborne.
Alright, guys, back out we go. Jurgens, you're going to be front man this time.
It's not a miss to start that. Osborne, get anything?
I'll be 2 seconds, then I'll come with you.
No, he didn't forget anything. It's just that I think his push to talk is being a bit weird. He was doing game way too close.
1011 Delta. Message over.
Alright, so Dace, remember, hold way before we get to this barrow.
Make sure you call in all the information you're given by Dace. You should be doing it on the radio or in local or whatever. To Grey to do it.
Yeah, I was having to micromanage that a bit too much.
Okay, yeah, just
right.
Daesh, obviously, as I said, tell Spittle everything you were told to by me, and then Spittle will just pass it on.
Yeah.
All to me, it doesn't matter which.
Just quickly, before you up here.
Maybe we can put Mikhail out here and then listen to it as a field check like Commanding Spittle.
Well, I'll be here, he'd be on the other side technically, if we were a full section. Right. 1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
User joined your channel.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised, section inbound from northwest, way out.
Roger that, Bravo, just be advised, make sure the guys are moving up as their members are entering the checkpoint. The last man of the patrols are really strung out by the time they're called in. Over.
What? Is that to you then, Sterling?
What?
Was that to you then?
I didn't hear it, what did you say?
Gray was saying something to Bravo.
Oh shit.
Could you say last of it?
So make sure you're yelling when they get close.
Yes, I am, mate.
So just before they get to that that construction barrier over there.
Yep.
The one with the stripes on it. Start yelling there and say halt. And you shout who goes there.
Yep.
Obviously get that initial answer and you say advance want to be recognised. Remember a bit closer.
Yeah.
And just set up your own scenario or whatever.
So hold on there.
There he is. Halt. Who goes there?
Yep, roger.
Advance 1 to be recognised.
Hellitzer, brilliant.
If you move to this stone barrier and stop for me.
And then stop in there. There you go.
So now I'm going to whispering.
Yeah. So.
On normal.
Whisper.
Okay. Yeah, whisper. Will you get me from here?
Can you hear us there, Jurgens? Jurgens, come a bit closer.
Move.
Jurgens.
Move a little bit closer, please. Okay, a little bit closer.
Can you hear us?
Stop there. Thank you. Can you hear me?
Is this good?
Yeah, we can hear him from there.
I'll put it on normal.
Yeah, do normal. It's
okay.
Too weird.
Charlie, uniform.
November Tango.
Thank you. Are you passing through or are you garrison?
We're just passing through the C3.
Instead of doing that there, Daish, get him close to you so you can speak next to each other. Because obviously you don't want to spread that information if there's like a guy in that bush over there. You want to you don't want to spread the intentions around. So you get him in because you know you're friendly.
So if you come forwards for me.
Okay, approaching.
And just sit next to you.
And just come and sit next to me.
Now you can have that little discussion.
How many? Yeah, are you coming through or are you garrison?
Person you want to text?
We're just passing through.
I'm going to ask Mikhail.
Excellent.
If he wants to do
and
it.
how many men
and
what section are you?
Haven't been challenged yet, so I'll send them out. They've only just finished.
3-man patrol.
Okay.
Is that right?
Hold on.
3-man patrol and we're from
1-0 is 1-2 Charlie. Message over.
Go ahead, over.
Okay, great.
1-0, be advised. Friendly section coming in from northwest.
Okay.
4-man
We'll just
being
start
let
moving
in.
your men
Over.
forward, and I'll stop.
Roger.
One by one.
Okay.
And you check them in for me, yeah?
Will do.
So call them forward, but I will stop.
Okay. Okay, Warrior, you may approach.
Okay, if you hold at that barrier, please stop there.
Don't be polite about it. You're a sentry.
Do you recognise this man?
Spit, why is that geezer running away?
That was
okay,
Gibbons.
Come through.
Yeah, Daish, don't be polite about it. You want to say halt, be forceful. You say you do it now, or you're going to shot.
Bitch, yeah. Okay, come forward. Come through.
Because remember, it doesn't matter who they are, you are in control.
And,
Halt!
Halt! Halt! Halt!
Oi, Numpty, step back. Step back now.
Back to that barrier, please.
Raise your weapons up, because he just ran at you.
Go ahead, for one of us.
Do you recognise this man?
He was not part of my patrol.
Halt!
Okay, halt there. Halt there. Step back, please.
Hey, raise your weapon to him, because you did not recognise him, and he keeps running at you.
Just hold it there, fella.
Right, so ask you some more questions, if they recognise that man.
That's why I was confused. I better go on yell. Should I go on yelling, because it's a bit far, isn't he? Charlie uniform. Okay. Advance 1 to be recognised.
Okay. So basically, this guy's just been a numpty, and he just doesn't know what he's doing.
Okay, hold it there. Do you want to just step to the side, because you've got a vehicle approaching?
Halt the vehicle as well.
Halt. Halt.
Turn off his engine.
Turn off the engine, please.
Right. Advance up to the vehicle. You can drop your weapon as well. Right, advance up to the vehicle. Just ask them who they are. 1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie. Message over.
Go ahead, over.
1 times ambulance being investigated.
Hello.
Coming in from northwest. Way out.
Charlie uniform. Hold. Excellent. Are you coming through or are you garrisoning?
Oi! Back of the side.
Okay, excellent. And how many people are in your ambulance? 2 people. Do you recognise the driver?
Is he friendly, Daish?
Second vehicle approaching.
Over. 1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie. Message over.
Just going to radio through.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised, ambulance is friendly. Second vehicle has just approached. We'll inquire to that. Out.
You can come in.
Okay, you make it
Section marker on the side and 1 guy.
Right, bring up the second vehicle. And hold that one as well, and question him.
Halt. Halt.
Charlie, I want to remind you guys that we'd like to prioritise vehicles, especially friendly ones that are moving through, and get them through as fast as possible. Over.
Turning the engine off. Charlie uniform.
Alright, so do you recognise this person on your right?
Excellent. And is it just yourself?
He is from our Delta fire team, but he was not part of our patrol.
Okay, A-firm. You, come here.
Okay, we've got 1 man, 1-4 vehicle passing through.
Halt! Stay there. Take a knee.
Okay.
Right,
Good
you?
to go.
Where have you come from?
Where have I come from?
Yes.
Literally just here.
Okay, well, you literally
stepped
just
out to speak to Gibbs. Yeah. Basically, Gibbons just asked me to come to him, and I was like, okay, and walked out. and
Okay, so
turned
this
around
is
and
legit
everyone
in-game
walked in.
stuff. Okay, I thought you were role-playing it. Yeah, go away.
No, literally. I just suddenly turned around, everyone was
Okay.
pointing guns at me.
That's your last man?
Yeah, I was role-playing that. I thought you were legit doing something wrong.
Nope.
Okay, cool.
Do you recognise this
Oh
man?
yeah, bugger off then. Go away. Shoot.
Okay, you can come through. Thank you very much.
Then make sure you ask him if he's last man.
Yeah, you last man? Yeah, he is. He's the
Cool, yeah.
third one.
Because if he says, oh, someone's behind me, you never know.
Okay.
Right, thank you, Jurgens.
Done. Thank you.
Off you pop.
No problem. Goodbye.
Spittle, question. Aren't we missing with those vehicles that came through here? Second person checking for any explosives on the vehicles,
check for
just in case.
No, because they gave the correct password, so I don't know whether that would be something you do. If
That
they
would
gave the
be
correct password.
That would be sufficient, as they've identified as friendly, but probably just good
Yeah.
practice is to just double check that explosives, just in case anything's
Yeah.
been attached to them, just in case. And close the bloody gate, whoever keeps passing through here.
How do you?
I was
actually,
just trying to trick
check
when see
for
whether he'd trip up when I said 1-4.
Ah, right.
Because I thought if I just think.
Yes.
Dear me.
Yeah, minus. Yeah. So you press minus on your keypad, yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, Gibbons,
Nice.
are you sending these guys back up? Because we've got one more person.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to go up. Okay, 1-1, go back up again. You come back in and do another patrol in. I would like.
Don't die, Sterling. Sterling? I'm going to do it now, so just make sure you just double check that. Make sure I'm doing it right.
Okay.
But I'm doing my real life stuff in it as well, so.
Okay. Get this one done, and then I'm gonna talk.
This one is done. Alright. Jurgens, take these 3 men back out, and whoever was with you before. Yeah.
Can I practice a vehicle search? Because I've never actually done that.
Oh yeah, let them take him back up.
On
Come
the
here.
next vehicle, yeah.
Oh, come here, I'll show you.
Right.
You basically stand next to the vehicle and you push minus on it, next to your equal sign. And that's all you need to do. And also, you got the Zeus interaction as well. You can check cards.
So yeah, performing action.
Yeah, perform that action and remember to do a interaction search on the cargo.
Yes. Cool.
What section are you from?
Al House.
Yeah.
Got there.
Who is commanding officer?
Do we have to control?
Charlie, uniform.
Do I have to control them?
Right.
No, you are going up there, your section.
Oh, that's in section. Alright.
Cool. Yeah, that worked. Sweet. So do the minus, do the inventory check. And
Yeah, and then you golden then.
On the correct.
I don't believe I heard that correctly. That guy said, "Oh, that's my section."
Oh.
Send these guys through.
Was that okay?
Mikkel, if you got any vehicles come through, let me know.
Charge of the one after current scenario. Standard checkpoint positions.
Yeah, just so we know to lift the gates.
Serious. Over.
Also, a PC issue, so that will restart from BIOS to get in. Harry's coming in 10 minutes.
iPhone.
Yes.
Oh, God damn it.
And if anyone questions you why you killed that civilian guy, fuck you.
4-0, we're going to be collapsing down
That is
this
my
little
turn.
exercise, so if you'd like to just
1-2,
back.
this is 1-1 Charlie, message over.
Send it for 1-2 Charlie, over.
Be advised 1-2 Charlie, would you like to take the northwest or south? Over.
You don't have to change the vehicles, but at least just coming in. He's
iPhone.
finished. But you can if you want. Up to you.
One. Well, I'll change it anyway. Wait out, 1-1. Oh. Oh.
Morning,
Oh, you goddammit. I hate you, Mitchell.
It's fine.
Close this down.
All call signs get everyone back into the centre of the checkpoint. We're going to move on to the next phase tonight.
Great, we'll just do one more.
Yes, you're going to Yeah, there's one person who's done it.
Oh, for God's sake. Well, it's technically me, but I was like...
Hey, thanks for that last one, lad.
Alright, where's
That was a good
I
one.
need to go and apologise to Pal.
Right.
Oh.
So obviously you get on the radio, you tell me there's a patrol
Section
incoming.
approaching from the
Where
north.
is he?
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised, section incoming northwest, wait out.
Wasn't you making him nervous?
Holtz, come onto the road and be recognised.
Are you that type of doctor? Oh. Alright.
Halt! Who goes there? As in, get on yelling and tell me who you are.
One section.
Okay, advance 1, be recognised. Halt. What do you have for breakfast this morning?
I didn't have breakfast.
Good man, because we didn't get fed. In you come.
1-1, get in there.
Right. Come sit next to me.
Yep.
Right, call up.
Everyone move up one by one.
Halt. You recognise that man?
Yes, I do. That's worry.
Alright. How many you got in your section?
7.
1. Alright, you sure about that?
At checkpoint, set up at ARD, so last one watch behind you.
6, because Gibbon's not here.
6, okay. Right. Advance. Advance.
Worry, advance.
Quiz and Terry out, but here, make sure you know how many you have next time, right?
Next man.
And Spill, make sure you ask a bit early about numbers. I was about to pick you up on it, so it's a good thing you spotted it.
Halt. You recognise him?
Yes, he is my sexual Aquilina.
Alright. Advance.
You just say sexual action. Section Aquilina.
Can we put him down?
You can tell by the way he walks. It's the most... Yeah, exactly.
1-0 is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Next man, come on.
Go ahead, 1-2 Charlie, over.
1-0, friendly section 1-1 incoming from northwest, out.
So you can always go through and not have to change them individually if you want.
Oh yeah, I'm presuming
1-2
this
Charlie,
is
this is
practice,
1-0,
and it's obviously if night as well. Alright, income. Right, tell...
1-2 Charlie, this is 1-0, message over.
Send it for 1-2 Charlie, over.
How many men in that element, over?
6, over.
Roger out.
Yeah, no, very sexual.
Alright, Stone, for the sake of this, can I say that this last man's not been identified?
Well, they did it on the other side of an ambulance, but you can if you really want.
Halt. Do you recognise him?
Yep. You can forward and watch. I think
that's Alpha.
Say no.
Okay. No.
No.
Who is
stand
this
two. Stand two. Put your hands up.
Stand two.
It's a recruit.
Put your hands up.
Oh no.
Can we open fire? I don't think he knows how to do.
Dage, push around right.
He's a bit confused.
Right. Altaz, put your hands up. Roleplay it.
I can't.
1-2 Charlie, this is 1-0, urgent message. Why have I had an order to stand 2, over?
1-0, be advised, 1 times man, southwest, unrecognised. Over.
Roger out.
Got an unrecognised man to the
right. Put your hands up.
Side of the...
Now, we will open fire.
Nice interact.
Alright, bring this man in for interrogation.
I like that.
Right, okay, that was a bit different. Let's bring it in then, lads. Let's move on to the next phase. We've got more stuff to cover tonight.
Like, you know, roof like 360.
User joined your channel.
Sorry, Altals, you're the last guy. I'm sure they didn't mean to pick them up.
Recruits are very dangerous. Oh, host, did you hear me going ace interact you to?
I did hear you say that.
Yeah.
If we can get another teleport from Harry, please.
What a first stop.
I'm late today. My address.
Okay. Suddenly the whole.
Is this a school circle, Sterling? Okay, as in you're going to do a teach thing?
Yeah,
I'm actually listening to
Right, everyone gather round school circle, mute your mics.
PTS.
Yeah, it was all good. That last one, I mean, that was a bit of a tactical blob formation. Everyone was advancing through the open ground together with their weapons raised. Next time, 1 or 2 men max, but otherwise, yeah. And now I'll just quickly cover a little bit of civilian interaction, but we're going to learn most of it through me in a civvy vehicle, because a lot of it is
situational, and it comes to you. But largely, if you see a vehicle approaching a civilian one, there are a few more things you need to take into consideration. You should ideally take this into consideration if you have a friendly vehicle approaching as well, but it's a lot more likely if it is not British marked, and that is how fast the vehicle is going and whether it looks like it's going to stop. And finally, there's a bit of an obvious one, but if it's got a 50 cal on the top, or if I've scoped in before and seen a C4 block stuck on the front grille of an off-road. So give it a scan, make sure it looks safe-ish, or safe enough to let it get close and do the normal challenge procedure. If it's going too fast, if it doesn't look like it's going to be stopping, this is when your ICs hopefully have set up reference points and told you, if this vehicle passes this point at speed, I want the warning shot fired, just to make sure that when there's no lag between, oh, it's still coming really fast, Spittle, Givens, can I fire a warning shot? And at this point, it's 20 metres away, and you have time for 1 max, and ideally we want to get 4 in before we start having to escalate the situation. I don't know who's hot micing, but please stop.
It's Perry.
So, yeah.
He's not in currently.
This goes on to sentry stuff. ICs, please.
User disconnected from your channel.
When I set you up, or when Grace sets you up on your arcs, I think you already decided them. Choose some reference points, tell you guys what to do, get the planning in, and designate 1 guy per section to fire warning shots, so that you don't do what happened in the campaign, and all try to fire warning shots at the same time, and then end up engaging the vehicles because you think we're engaging them, because about 10 people just fired a shot. Okay?
That was my section.
I know, it was my section too. Get that planning in there, guys. It's key. But anyway, that's if they don't listen. You fire your warning shots, 3 minimum, preferably 4, and then you fire for the wheels to try and immobilise it. If this still fails, only then are you permitted to go lethal. Okay? And when it comes to movement, speed, whether it's going to slow down, if it's driving towards the checkpoint and it decides to go round at any point, if that vehicle is trying to continue along this road without going through the checkpoint, you're also permitted to fire warning shots and attempt to neutralise the tyres. Usually this will happen when you tell them to halt and tell them they're going to have to consent to a search. Then they might go, oh, I'm leaving, and then try and do a runner, or they might just drive at you and try and get around. Either way, your IC will tell you this vehicle's evading, and you will be cleared to fire warning shots and escalate things. But that procedure is never going to change when firing at non-PID targets, especially vehicles. 3 to 4 warning shots, shoot to immobilise, shoot to kill. If you do it in any other order, you've broken ROE, I'll find out who you are, and not only will your IC tell you off and call you an idiot, I'll make sure that you are the only person to die next time a civilian with a weapon comes along, okay? So does that make sense for vehicles approaching, evading, acting suspiciously? Is everyone clear there? Any questions before we move on to what you should do with the compliant civilian? Cool. So, if a vehicle approaches a checkpoint, or even a pedestrian, the first thing you do, as always, is halt. Ask them to halt the second they get into yelling range. And then, usually with vehicles like this, we don't want them getting so close, especially to you. So, we'll get them relatively close, 10-15 minutes in front of the first concrete barrier, which is there, sort of run you over. And then what I usually do is send forward a team of 2 guys. One of them needs to be sensible and the person conducting the talks, and the other one is there to make sure he doesn't get shot, basically. Everyone else should be in the checkpoint, providing overwatch, watching their arcs. These 2 individuals, as I've said, one is kind of close protection and the other is the challenger. This challenger needs to, as I've said, tell the guy to halt and then advance forwards, and then you need to get the, well, I've just fucked up. You need to tell him to halt, and then you need to tell him to turn off the engine and get out of the vehicle. If there are any passengers, do not allow them to get out. If they get out, tell them to get back in. You only want to deal with 1 civilian outside the vehicle at a time. When it's been made safe, so the driver's out of the vehicle, Pulitzer, are you having a seizure?
User disconnected from your channel.
Yeah, I think he's disconnected or something. No, that's Buck.
Sterling, I've got a question real quick.
Yep.
What was that? Warning shots, they should be fired above the vehicle or just in front of the vehicle?
Above, because if you fire in front, you might hit it.
Roger.
It's mainly for the sound and the shock factor. I mean, 1-3, no, 1-1-3, it might have been 2-2, got some flack in the campaign for firing a warning shot when I think it was Zeus thought it was a bit early. It can't be a bit early if you have a vehicle approaching a very high speed, which looks unlikely to stop, even if it's 150 metres away, 100 metres. A vehicle travelling fast can cover that in next to no time, and if you want to get your 4 warning shots in, you get them in early. Firing a warning shot, you'll scare them, you'll spook them, but you're not harming them. And if it's your safety, rather than having an off-road pack with explosives drive you to the checkpoint, I would never discipline someone for firing an overzealous warning shot. Well, within reason, of course, and I don't think Gray would either.
If you, obviously, we're trying to Milsim this. If you believe your life is in danger, or if you believe you're, you know, if you were in this situation in the real world and you believed, okay, that Zamak is barreling towards this checkpoint right now, I need to do something, then that's when warning shots happen. If you believe your life is in danger.
Yeah.
Not just, oh, there's a truck coming, let's shoot at it for a bit, see what happens.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say with fast speeds, maybe erratic driving, maybe explosive you spotted on the exterior, or a guy in the back of an off-road with a gun. All stuff like this could be risky.
Guy with silver teeth screaming, "Witness me!"
Yeah.
Stuff.
I got a question too.
Yep.
When we pass in the ambulance, like a type of a closed vehicle, which you like visually cannot see the passengers in the back. Everyone who passed us, like every sentry that passed us through the checkpoint, didn't even check inside.
I think
so. I mean, we could lie that there's only 2 of us and having like 5 immigrants in the back.
Yeah. Well, we're moving on to vehicles now, and searches will be the next stage of this. So.
Oh, okay.
Ignore that for now. That was just to get the process of challenging people set up, and we'll now move on to how to properly search and deal with vehicles specifically now.
So when it does come to challenging friendly vehicles, if they get the password right and they're in a hurry like an ambulance, you could let them through and trust the. You might just have to trust the OC, especially on some of the vehicles you can't open certain areas. I know you can on the ambulance, but for example, a tank, we don't get all the crew to disembark.
Can't you ace interact on a vehicle and look at the passengers that way?
I think it's a bit,
a bit cheaty, isn't it?
Cheaty. But if it's not a British vehicle, you will be searching it. But if it's British and they get the password right, you are not obliged. IC's discretion, Sentry's discretion, all that. Okay. But anyway, so where were we? So the vehicle's safe and the driver alone is out. Now you approach with your protection guy, and you walk up to him and you talk to him, and you say something to the extent that, this is a British Army checkpoint. If you want to pass through here, you have to consent to the search of your person, your vehicle, and any other passengers within. If not, you are free to turn around and leave. However, if you try to evade the checkpoint or you want to continue down this road, you'll have to... if you try to continue down this road, you will need to be searched, and if you try to evade the checkpoint, you'll be fired upon. Something like that. There's no specific formula, just make sure you say who you are, what they have to do to get through the checkpoint, and what will happen if they don't consent to the search. I.e., they either have to leave, or they can try and evade and be fired upon. Does that make sense? Make it clear to them. If they say no, I don't want to be searched, as I've said, you tell them they have to turn back, and they will not be permitted to pass through this way. If they say yes, I think you still need to cuff people to search them, so you'll have to tell them, sorry, I need to train you quickly, maybe try and come up with a roleplay excuse. Most users will be understanding if we're to metagame it. And usually they'll consent to one. If they don't and they make a fuss, then it's all down to the situation. If they're making a fuss and saying, they don't want to be cuffed, tell them, well then you can't be searched, you're not going to be able to come through, etc, etc. At the end of the day, make sure they know what's happening, they're consented to it, and then you can start going through it. There's more than one passenger, just do it one by one. So you'll search the driver, and then keep him outside the vehicle, so there's no one in the driver's seat ready to run you over, and then get each other passenger out one by one, and get them back in one by one. Search them all, and then search the vehicle. When absolutely everything is cleared, you can let them through. Maybe say have a nice day or whatever. If you find anything even remotely contraband related or you're not sure about, talk to your IC, tell them exactly what it is, and you might be told to withdraw to the checkpoint, and a stand 2 might be issued and things might escalate slightly. But at the end of the day, they're not coming to the checkpoint unless they agree to and are searched fully. And if you find anything bad about them and they're not getting aggressive, we want to try and restrain them and bring them in here and question them. But having the prisoners is very useful. Is that all good? Any questions? I probably missed out a bunch of I'm not even going to bother.
Intricacy?
Yeah, a lot of the details, the very specific bit, I'm not going to bother with trying to impart all my knowledge onto you. We will be trialing it now, we'll be doing it all. I'd like the ICs to keep people rotating through, have 2 people forward on the bunkers, or on the barricades, and everyone else around garrison the checkpoint. Make sure you have at least a PFC or an IC on the barricades at any one time. There will be clearance patrols, etc. sent out to keep the area safe, and we'll be doing similar roleplay. Some of them might be hostile, some of them might have bombs, some of them might have guns. It's how you react with them, and if you take casualties, if you want to talk to you guys about them ICs, let Gray or myself know, and we can pause anything coming from that location for a while, and we can talk about why you took those casualties and how to avoid them. Because there's always a reason, and that's how we're going to learn. Instead of sitting here troubleshooting hundreds of scenarios, let's get some going. We can get critique on the net, and we can just work on things, and we can figure out how to do it ourselves rather than be told it all. And quickly, finally, if you have a British military vehicle coming through, especially now with the sirens on, feel free to tell your guy to wait and deal with the British vehicle first, because it's just a simple password challenge. Make sure the civilian's out of hearing range, of course, and get them through before you go back to the civilian, because it'll be much quicker to do so, and usually they're in a bit of a hurry and they don't want to be waiting behind a queue of 3 hatchbacks. Okay? So there's going to be a combination of civilians, on foot, in vehicles, and allied detachments like Americans, British, doesn't matter.
So quickly, before you get started, then, what is legal in this area for civilians to have weapons-wise and that sort of thing?
No.
No weapons
Greg, you go on yelling.
Maybe a pistol at the most.
Yeah, I think we should allow them to have a pistol firearm.
I want to establish that, okay? So nothing larger than a pistol is allowed in this area of Altis, or allowed through the checkpoint. Obviously no explosives or anything like that, so they're allowed to have concealed carry pistols. That's the largest weapon they're allowed to have.
You have to show
do we have
license.
intel on friendly forces in the area?
We think there should be a friendly convoy, or at least a friendly vehicle passing through in about 20 minutes, and there is a garrison in the town to the northwest, so they might have patrols coming through.
Nationalities? British, American?
The convoy is American, and the garrison in the town is British.
Okay, so we might have British guys coming through, and we might have American guys coming through.
If they don't know the password, then treat them as if they're not Blueful.
And if some French guys turn up, we haven't had intel of French guys operating in the area, so
be
turn them
wary.
away.
Yeah.
They're not in this
Wary of
area.
the French.
Okay? That sort of thing should be part of any kind of intel before we set up a checkpoint. What things we're not allowed to let through, what things we should be letting through, who's in the AO that may want to get through. Okay? Now, yep, Sterling, if you want to kick this off. ICs, I want a head count from your sections.
Yeah, Mikhail, quickly.
Sorry.
So for the friendly convoy coming through, the Americans, would we assume they've been briefed on the password and challenged them as a friendly unit?
Yeah,
Or
as I've said, if they don't know the password, they're not Blueful, and as they are Blueful, they should know a password. It is a Blueful password.
Roger.
Right, quick head count from the ICs. 7 from 1-1, right.
5 currently.
5, okay. Good, that means you can do a patrol as a section when you need to, on clearance, and a section can man the checkpoint at a time. Okay, so Sterling, you want to get this set up then?
Yeah, I'll start using you then. Do you want? You said you want to work in comms. Do you want to be the overall runner of things then?
Yeah, I'll be the CEO of this checkpoint. Yeah.
Cool. Let's get going.
Well, I don't know what Bailey's doing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I recommend for like the distance before we start warning shots to be the second land electrical post thing, because that's pretty even distance if they're bombing it.
Yeah, that's fine by me.
Yeah, tell you what.
Gibbons?
Get your guys set up with those plans and those ranges for when you want warning shots vehicles.
I was gonna say, do you want northwest target southeast?
Yeah.
Swap it over.
Northwest.
Right, 1-2, we're
Right,
going
yeah.
southeast.
Alright,
Mikhail? Yes. Osborne? Where's Osborne? Over there. Ah, stay up there, yes. Where's Daesh? Daesh is there. Pelzer, come here.
Alright.
Alright. Sit next to Mikhail for me. Since you didn't get experience in the challenge procedure, Mikhail, can you guide him through it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I got a bit of experience, just not much.
Yeah, we'll guide you through. Just take your time.
You're going to have a loads by the time.
Yeah, but lads, I already checked this build. If any of the vehicles pass the second electrical post to our front, bombing it, then warning shots go from there. And who do you want to do warning shots, Bill? Me or somebody else?
You can do warning shots, Osborne, but call it in just before, just so you just so you can give Mikhail a chance to say no.
Yeah, I'll give it. Yeah, cool thing. Feel free if you want me to fire and just shout warning shots at the radio and I'll do it.
Just constantly backwards and forwards. Yeah. Okay.
All I see is call on this net once you finish briefing you guys about ranges and whatnot. Over.
Right, Grey, we'll head out then.
Go ahead, over.
Cool, when the checkpoint is set, we will start things off.
Okay, second lamppost is 100 meters, third lamppost is 150.
In their ambulance as well, going down to the checkpoint. Over.
What's the range to the buildings?
I can't hear anything because I got them.
They'll be travelling randomly dependent on common casualties as well as scheduled.
Roger that, we'll brief my ICs on that as well.
Wait, send that again?
What's the distance to the
Osborne,
buildings, Bill?
What?
Shall I call it in a sec?
Oh, yeah, I've already done that. Right, which building, Osborne?
The building's just to the southeast.
1-2, be advised.
As in the tiny one or the one right over the crest?
Moving in and out of the checkpoint.
One's right at the crest, like the actual like houses.
250.
Cheers.
Oh, really? Okay, that's fine. No problem.
Great. What was the last transmission?
Aqua, in which case you are now to make...
Mert is going to be coming backwards and forwards through the checkpoint.
AFM.
User disconnected from your
so
channel.
to deal with Mert, because obviously are they simulating every time they go off to be a different person coming back in, or are they literally just...
Yeah, potentially.
Okay,
They might be. They haven't actually specified, but they might be, so password them and...
Okay, I was just
do
running
it
through
as
it,
a-
constantly
as a-
opening back and forth the gate because we can see him in eye shot or something like that.
Yeah.
And can we keep this closed?
So, I'm going to be up in the bunker to the right, covering your east. So if you, obviously you're my first
Alright.
shot, okay? Yeah, that's it. So if he gets the second one exploring it, you fire the first shot in front of him.
And then on my side, just be ready in case they try to pull a weapon on you.
Again across the barrel. The third warning shot, if he's having a warning shot at that point, I will say lethal. Now they will shoot the tire, and I want.
Bad thing is my gun tends to let off a bunch of rounds in one go.
It's called bursts.
Okay, because in the windshield will stop him dead. Okay.
Okay.
Weapons off safety, guys.
If I call anything after that,
Yep.
put more rounds in the windshield and just light him up. Okay. Right. So the only difference I've made to obviously what you guys have said is that when we try and take out the wheels.
I mean,
Right, Aqua?
technically speaking, if we are technically supposed to shoot out the wheels of fire warning shots, can I just immediately use my weapon? What is it called again? On its mount?
Coming round the corner on the road, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, Gibbs, they're set.
Hardman.
Alright.
Yeah,
As when a vehicle comes, then we have to. We're going to be sending 2 people up to check the vehicle when I've made it stop. And I just got a question. I was just saying, could we, like, one's going to come with me? Could it be not the AR? Like maybe.
User in your channel timed out.
Yeah, of course.
Alright. And afterwards, if it passes the 100-meter mark, then that's when we kind of all open fire. So,
And this did.
100 meters, then. Oh, alright.
All call signs on this net. CP is now active. Over.
CP now active, guys.
1-1 acknowledges. Out.
1-2 acknowledges. Out.
Basically, just have to wait for the call from the hospital to basically say light them up. Right.
Yeah, Pally.
Yeah.
If you hear, I'll do one. Like, I'm not sure if you heard earlier, but like, yeah, if you hear my shots, don't
Dave?
engage until obviously Spill says, like, you know the rest.
Instead of
of my
going in there, go up into that bunker up there. Get northeast. I don't think anyone's watching.
Yeah, I'll look in that way, so I'll go in.
Oh yeah.
Where's Perry? I thought he said he would be in 10 minutes.
I think he had connection issues still.
Ambulance approaching.
Vehicle approaching. Hatchback, apparently.
Acknowledged. Far out. Disregard scene.
Just come around the corner.
Hatchback approaching southeast. Out.
Slowing down.
Hold the vehicle. Kill the engine. Turn your engine off. Fell with me.
They know to get the driver to step out as well.
Yeah.
Earliest
We're going to take out
opportunity.
get the guy to step out.
Essentially, their driver should have stepped out before they've actually advanced on the vehicle. Just...
Go ahead, over.
We have a British military ambulance, 3 occupants, and
What's going on,
they
Mikhail?
have given correct password. Over.
Roger that. Let them through. Advise them there is a civilian vehicle driving erratically
Pull back.
on the southeast side. Over.
Okay.
Acknowledged. 1-1 Delta out.
Right, tell the driver this time to step out before you get close to him.
Right, hold it. Right, step out the vehicle. Yes, we can hear you. Step out the vehicle.
Going northwest.
Okay, so Pellizer, while Mikhail talks to the guy, give the vehicle a wide berth and look around the back.
Roger.
User joined your channel.
Wide berth.
So you don't be near it, Pelly, in case it's got an ID in it, yeah? Right. Also, do you know how to do the EOD search, Pelly? Right.
Use it with ace interaction.
Negative equals. It's the equal sign on the keyboard.
Wait.
I've got eyes on the van. Hey, firm.
C4 occupants.
Could someone get a cable ties, please?
Do you not have cable ties?
No, I used them on all ties.
1-0, this is 1-1 Charlie, message over.
A firm. Mikhail, step back.
Be advised, we have a black van that's already passed checkpoint once. We have 3 men leaving the vehicle currently. We are keeping eyes on it, over. Roger out.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you consent to a search, sir?
Yes.
Okay. It would help Sterling if we could actually get the option. There we go. Okay, sir, I'm just going to search your person.
T-Bar's working for me.
1011, be advised, we have 3 occupants have left the vehicle. The vehicle is still holding, moving from.
Okay, sir, you are clear.
Roger that.
Mikhail, is it clear?
Continue with your searches and interrogation of
Thank
the
you for your
driver,
cooperation, sir.
specifically, keep eyes on from the where? Dispatch.
Yeah, you can probably
He's on our east now, he's moving from north to east.
Hold on.
Towards the front of the checkpoint. Spill, he's just gone around the checkpoint, what should we do?
I see him, keep an eye on him. What do you say, Sterling?
Things are getting spicy later. You should just probably let the recruit handle this one.
Yeah.
Got eyes on, he's behind the bush.
1 times hatchback coming through the checkpoint, all cleared. Out.
Roger, out.
Alright, close the gate. Civilian over there.
Spittle, you've got use, haven't you?
Yes. Do you want some
Stick
cable
a
ties?
box with... Yeah, please.
Right, I'll give it to you. Go back.
Ambulance approaching on top of the hill, coming about to come around the corner.
Hey, firm. Give me a bearing on that civvy.
Bearing 071 is currently behind the bushes.
Hey, firm. Wait 1. 1 times ambulance incoming southeast. Wait out.
Hold. Hold the vehicle. Kill the engine.
1-0. This is 1-2 Charlie. Message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-0. Be advised, we currently have 1 time civilian east currently just watching the checkpoint. Request permission to send out a recce patrol to interact with him after we've dealt with this ambulance. Over.
Roger that. Send out a fire team only. Over.
Spill, be advised, you also ran around the checkpoint.
1-2 acknowledges. Out. Say again?
He also ran round the checkpoint completely.
Alright.
Can't let you through, that's the wrong password.
Yeah, he moved north to east, so he definitely ran through the checkpoint.
We're 1.
Keep eyes on him.
Wrong net. Spittle emergency heart transplant doesn't know the password.
1-0, be advised, black van
Hey,
ahead
firm.
of us, minivan with 4 occupants. We're having no response from them. Engine will not turn off.
Great.
We're going to send them away from checkpoint. Over.
Great. Urgent message.
Roger, out.
Spittle, do we let through?
Yeah, what's up?
Ambulance with heart transplant but has given the wrong password. Have you checked the back? Is there a casualty in the back?
Get the CO. There won't be a. Get the CO out of the vehicle.
Get the CO out of the vehicle.
Dax, you got eyes on that civvy? I haven't got eyes on him anymore. I think he might have gone.
Something about the food.
He hasn't moved any further forward into the clearance, so he must be
Hey,
behind the
great.
bushes.
So I'm getting the CO out. What am I doing there
I
then?
just needed to open it to do it.
Never mind,
Ask him
found
the
eyes on him again, he's still
password.
behind that
If he
bush.
fucks it up, then turn him round.
Alright, even though I got a heart transplant. Okay. Right, you've got the CO out, Macau.
Yeah, I've got the CO here.
Has he got the wrong password?
That's an air firm.
Right, he's going to have to turn around then.
It's asking for you.
Hey, fun. Take over. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. My name's Acting Lance Corporal Mitchell. We have an emergency heart transplant in the back of this vehicle. We were not given the password. We need to get through ASAP.
Hey, firm. I've been briefed by my CO that we cannot let you through.
Sir, this is going to be a life or death situation for one of your guys in the medical facility.
Yes, I've been briefed by my CO to not let you through.
Right, okay, so what do you want us to do? Just turn around?
You're going to have to turn around, yes. You cannot come through this checkpoint.
Okay, looks like we're finding a new way around.
Shit. I guess this guy's gonna be like, he got 3 kids and a wife.
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over. This is 1-2 Charlie, message over. Right, Mikhail, what we need to do... Whoa.
We've got a van to our northeast bearing 025.
Yep, seen.
What colour?
1-0, be advised, van has just gone off to the right hand side of the compound. We're sending a recce patrol to deal with it now. Over.
Roger, out.
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised, ambulance with heart transplant with wrong password was denied entry and has turned around, over.
that van as dismounts.
Right, Mikhail, take Pellizer
Send it.
and go east and go and talk to that guy.
Ambulances approaching.
Disregard.
Be advised, 1-0, we are still
Ambulance
firing
incoming
shots,
again.
warning shots towards that vehicle as it tried to move again. Over.
That was warning shots.
Be advised, we currently have no vision on it.
The van has drove off.
We believe it is moving away to the
He's still got eyes on that
northeast and
civvy.
not going around us anymore. Over.
He has not moved past the clearing, so he's still technically in the bushes.
Roger that.
Dismounts top of the hill. 2 times British kitted infantry approaching the checkpoint.
Seen. One zero, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised, southeast, 2 times British equipped infantrymen approaching checkpoint. Wait out. Wrong way. He's in the big tower.
Still be advised they're believed to be the ambulance crew.
Yeah, we don't know that yet.
No, I'm saying I watched the ambulance come over the hill, then reverse, and these two appear.
What house are they in?
Where's Aqua? Alright.
That means people like I saw him come over the hill and dismount. And then they reversed the truck and then dismount.
Yeah, it could just be a new scenario though.
Oh yeah, fair enough I suppose.
Hold.
Yep.
Advance 1, be recognised.
Sit rep.
Of course, signs on the checkpoint. Be advised, there are now boxes of cable ties if needed. Over.
I'll grab you one, Mikhail.
Hold.
Okay. Well, they
Charlie,
say explosives,
uniform.
but they're explosive cable ties.
Forward.
Are you sure about that?
Hey, boy.
You're up, my man.
Well, I did the...
Yeah, are you sure?
Wow, that didn't work at all.
You need to...
Yeah, I did that.
Here they are.
I did that.
Hey, they're in this one.
Oh, they're in that one, okay. Right.
Incoming! Incoming! Oh wait, maybe not.
No, wait, no, that was, yeah.
I thought that was mortars.
Shall we challenge it?
Don't worry.
That was a jet, guys, advised.
Sit rep, Mikhail.
Boys, I'm back on 1-1.
Just let identify both of them now before letting through.
Okay, do you recognise him?
Yes, of course.
Come forward. Get this man to up.
I am indeed.
Okay, roger that. Get touch through.
Who are they?
We have a Corporal Mitchell, that's Corporal Mitchell and his subordinate.
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised, 2 times British men being let through the checkpoint, Lance Corporal Mitchell and Specialist Sokolov. Over.
Roger that, what element are they with? Over.
What element were they with?
Bollocks.
166 Mert.
1-0, be advised, they were 166 Mert. Over.
Roger that.
You're welcome, Mikhail.
Yeah, Mikhail, when you get in the first person in, ask them all those kind of questions and relay it to me so I can relay that to Gray then.
Yeah, roger.
Yeah. And don't have Mitchell like standing over there, because I was a bit too close for comfort.
Riddle.
Right. Right, Mikhail, take out Pellizer, go investigate that Civvy East.
Roger that, on the way. Hell with me.
Civvy is still there.
1-2 Recce Patrol sending out east to investigate civilian. Out.
Roger out.
Mikhail, let me know if you need to talk on.
Right, Osborne, you're on my cover.
Yeah, no worries, Bill.
so keep an eye on.
Right. 1-1, this is 1-0, message over.
Civilian is non-responsive, believe he is AI.
Go ahead, over.
Spill, why am I the only one expecting any second this to go tits up?
Right. Arrest him
1-0.
as he's currently watching and being
1-1,
suspicious.
I would like you to take a recce patrol out to the building to our southwest, the single-story building across the fields. Patrol around it and return back. Just take a fire team. Over.
1-1 acknowledges. So you draw a recce patrol around the area, around the compound. Over.
Say again, over.
You just want us to do a recce patrol out about 300 meters around the compound, yes?
With disregard. Over.
Right, take him into the compound and put him against a wall.
Contact report. Over.
I did just call it 1-1. Just fired rounds, warning shots towards a vehicle approaching us at fast speed. Over.
Roger that. I didn't hear that, but been in and out T-far. Over.
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, Record Patrol has returned. One-time Civi performing suspicious activity in watching the checkpoint has been arrested
from your channel
and put into the compound to explain himself. Over.
Roger that.
User joined your channel.
Is he talking yet? Okay.
1011 Delta, message over.
That's negative.
Right, if resume normal positions.
Go ahead, over.
We have 1 times British ambulance, 2 occupants. Password confirmed. Over.
Roger
You got your
that.
cable toss, Mikhail.
Let them through.
Oh, come here, come here.
Acknowledged. 1-1 Delta out.
Yes, I did steal his bandana before you ask.
There you go.
Thank you.
User left your channel.
1-2, I'd like your CO in the centre of the checkpoint. Over.
Scratch that, he's pulling up to one side, close again.
Yes.
Bill, what's the crack with this guy then?
Okay, this guy was currently over there hiding behind the bush, just watching
What's going on with this guy, guys?
compound. He had moved from north to east, going around the checkpoint. We were able to interact with him. He's currently unresponsive and he's not talking to us, so we arrest him as he was performing suspicious activity.
Tank in sight.
Okay.
Abrams.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with watching the checkpoint, but you said you tried to circumvent it, so that's fair enough.
Well, we think we definitely came from north to east.
Okay, that's fair enough. Bearing in mind that watching the checkpoint even with binos isn't an illegal or like arrestable offence, really.
Well, yeah, it's just that he's not been responsible to explain himself.
Well,
We have eyes on times 1 Abrams head towards the checkpoint from the southeast. Wait out.
Oh, that's ooh. Big boom boom stick.
I was trained in for personal safety.
Where's Gibbons?
Hello,
Gibbons,
I've just seen it.
don't turn
I've
around.
just seen it. I've seen it.
I'm glad that's pointing up.
The value is returned.
Don't worry, Dash. I've got my tower.
Could you please join one of the sections?
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Great, I'm gonna get Sergio.
Kill the engine, dismount the crew.
Just the commander, Mikhail.
Actually, no.
You just want one person.
Gotcha, just your commander.
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised, 1 times Challenger 2 tank approaching from southeast. Also, interrogative, have you... I can't think of the words. Have you passed it on to Ryan to make sure he's not in the area?
No. Why would he be in the area?
Well, you never know, you might get run over.
That's a British tank.
Has he been run over by a Challenger?
You've got Sergio
No, that's
for a
the
little
thing.
while as well now.
What?
You've got
1-0,
Sergio for a
this is
little while
1-1
as well
message.
now.
Okay. That's the thing, he's been done over by a Humvee, he's been done over by an
Be
Abrams.
advised, we took out 1 tyre on a red vehicle. My fire teams have searched the gentleman. He does have a pistol on him, but nothing else. of any note. We are now replacing his tyre for him, and we'll send him on his way. Will not be let to the checkpoint. Over.
Roger that. You're not letting him through the checkpoint because he's non-compliant. Over.
Right, let's get yourself in that bunker.
Not letting him through the checkpoint as he did not stop or hold. We'll follow procedure. Over.
What's your frequency with 112?
Yes, 112.
Right.
Okay, I'm not sure if that's reportable, but that doesn't match up right there.
That's an additional.
Be advised 10, we are now arresting the guy as we've just found a box of ammo in his vehicle, even though he would not let
What's going on, Mikhail?
Tank commander with Bravo Company, knew the password, let them through. 10
Bravo Company.
2 Delta, message over.
Go ahead, 12 Delta, over.
We have ×1 tank with Bravo Company, knew the password, allowing them through the checkpoint, over.
5.
Roger, out. All checkpoint call signs, open the barriers, 1 times Challenger 2 coming through the checkpoint. Over.
Acknowledge, be advised, they may need to move the concrete barriers, that thing won't get round it.
It has a big gun on the front, do we really need to check it?
Roger that, in this case the tank is allowed to circumvent the checkpoint. Over.
Acknowledged. Out.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Spill, can we just say we need to take the tank for, because we don't trust it, and we need to take it for interrogative purposes.
That man has a chest rig on. Take his chest rig off.
Yeah, he just ran over that truck.
My search game has not been snatched.
Take that man's chest rig off.
Did Paddy just fucking run over the truck?
Fucking majestic.
Osborne, keep your eyes down the road.
Oh, God, I've got an erection.
Yeah, we'll go. Just orgasmic anger beard.
Yeah, fair enough.
Put my back.
I could see you were still looking down the road anyway, just reminding you.
Yeah, no worries.
All call signs on his net, 2 out of the numbers to run a quick recce patrol for me. Over.
Be advised 10, the gentleman is telling us that he is part of a large cartel and we will live to regret this day. Over.
What you want, you dirty slug?
Noted. 1-1. Over.
Where's that shot come from?
Not my side.
Yes.
I didn't hear
From
drop.
northwest.
All call signs, stand 2, get scanning.
Stand
See
2,
where
stand
that shot
2.
came from.
Is that what it was?
Scanning the southwest arc.
1-2, send 2 men out, 1 to move that red truck and the other to move the boxes to a secure location immediately. Everyone else, get on arcs and get searching. Over.
Great. We're on the other side.
Disregard, 1-1. It's your side of the checkpoint. Over. Negative.
As long as the vehicle's not wired with explosives.
Roger.
What was that?
Like something flying overhead.
I don't like it when things fly over my head.
1-1 on that vehicle and crate off the road to ensure there are better sight lines down the road. Over.
1-1 acknowledges. Be also advised we have a gentleman on one of the buildings to the northwest with binoculars. Believe he fired the shot, but at this time we cannot confirm. Over.
Roger that, I'll get scanning with my binos, see if he's got a gun. Over.
Spill, could you ask for a bearing on that geezer on the roof? Or whatever.
Negative. 1-1, he only has binoculars. Over.
He'd be a dicker for RT.
1-1 data acknowledged. Out.
Whoa! Down.
Contact.
It's artillery.
Mortars.
It's that guy's a dicker. Spill, can you radio up if we're allowed to fire on the
1-1,
dicker?
this is 1-0. Urgent message. I want a patrol. Standing patrol out to where that man is with the binoculars. I believe this is spotted for mortars. Over.
Fellas, get down.
Everyone else, keep your fucking heads down.
1-1 Charlie, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-1 Charlie, do you want to send one of your 5 teams out? It's your side, over.
Somebody shot out.
There's an A firm, I believe he called 1-1 to get a standing patrol out, so I'm arranging one now, over.
1-2 acknowledges, out.
I'm hurt.
Get it together on the double quick, 1-1. Out.
Acknowledge strike, too many people radioing me at once, over.
I'll take point. Okay,
Spill, do you want me to keep an eye on that dick, or do you want me to go back onto my
Yeah,
arc?
firm, watch him. Everyone else, man your positions again.
Okay. Let Givens know.
Are you injured?
I'm not
Yep.
you
want me to take Daesh on me.
Let Givens know that I've relieved you, please.
Moving now.
All your injuries.
All of the cosines spread out on the checkpoint.
Stop covered.
Or just
1-0, be advised, we are now.
Ow, god damn it.
We're here.
Spill, can you ask permission to engage the dicker, please?
No. Right, got 2
Roger
times,
that, 1-1.
2 casualties, 1 myself,
1-2, you're
1
taking
Pelazar.
over 1-1 standing patrol out to the north, over.
Mikhail, scramble some people together. 1-2 acknowledges. Additional information, sustained 2 times tier 2 casualties. Being dealt with now. Out.
Where's the casualties?
Me.
Right, over here, please.
No, I need to watch this. Let's do it here, mate.
Just running it, because mortars.
Yeah, A firm, let's go.
No, Mitchell, come
I'm
here.
also needing help, so.
Take a white bill for that car.
Yeah, you can go back.
I just lay down.
Spill, just in case you need to know, he's on a construction building top floor to the right of it.
Right, divert your arc southeast.
Okay, guys, spread it out into a kind of extended line. Daesh on my left, Osborne on my right.
Checkpoint. I'm going to bring them into the centre now. Over.
If I'm in the
Yeah, I'll get
left-hand
standing patrol
bunker,
centre.
alright, if you bring all
I've been
casualties
trying
out.
the entire time, but then there's been more civilians coming in, and we don't have the numbers to do both.
I'm green again.
Roger out.
Okay, move, Jurgens.
All call signs on this net casualty collection point is the 2-story bunker, over.
1-2 acknowledges, out.
Everyone else, pull in, set up arcs, over.
Every mission. I'm just casualty time.
Just disregard that last order. What fire team is that that's proceeding to the north, over?
Guy on the rooftop, yeah.
Great, that's 1, 2. Part 1-2.
Roger that. I didn't believe you were combat effective, over.
Halt. Wait, 1. Bandits incoming southeast. Halt.
Simon's gonna need a reinforcement.
1-1 Charlie, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, over.
1-1 Charlie, requesting 1 times man to be diverted southeast to cover our arc, over.
Bill.
So you just circuit turn off your engine and dismount.
I'm on it.
1 person, driver please. Yep.
Daesh, keep moving up the next zone wall.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
How may I help you?
We're just going through with.
1012, tell that message over.
Okay. Destination for casualty?
Fire team is about 50 metres out from the construction building. Now we take apprehend the.
Okay, is he in the back or is this man in
He is absolutely 1-2
Okay.
Delta apprehend
you
him,
consent
over.
to be searched and your vehicle searched?
1-2 out.
That's fine.
Osborne, get up there and
That's good by
apprehend
me.
and we'll cover you.
Thank you for your cooperation.
Moving.
Worry, come up here. Okay, sir, I'm just going to have to arrest you so I can actually search your person. Worry, could you please search the vehicle?
Fine by me.
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but I'll try.
Yeah.
Through interact.
Ace interaction and then minus to check the bomb. Okay, so I'm just
Yeah,
searching your
just
person.
scan it.
Thank you for cooperation. Yep.
Proceeding upstairs.
Careful in case he's tripped the floor.
In his inventory, he's only got
Okay, thank you, sir.
Just get straight in, apprehend him, don't speak to him.
Alright, Bailey, is this other guy being Zeus or is it just Nail?
Apprehended.
1-0,
Okay.
this is 1-1 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, 1-1 Charlie.
Mine's next to your
Be advised,
backslash.
1 time
Okay,
hatchback
thank you.
driving
I'm just going to call this
towards
into my
the checkpoint to the
superior and we'll get
northwest.
you going,
Apparently
okay?
it's heading down south towards the track point. The track to race, over.
Roger that. Ensure the person and the vehicle is searched, over.
Hey, Bailey.
Acknowledge 1-0, we'll proceed now. Out. Also, interrogative, can I have 1 times reinsert? Acting Lance Corporal Harmon, over. Roger, out.
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, 1-2 Charlie, over.
1-0 with 1-time civilian ambulance has been cleared, requesting permission to go through the checkpoint, over.
Yeah, it seems normal.
Roger that.
Yes.
Be advised, there is already a vehicle stopped on the northeast side when it comes through. Advise them of that, over.
A firm will tell them to wait until that vehicle is cleared. 1-2 Charlie out. Okay, sir, you have been cleared.
1-0, so 1-2 Delta, message over.
But you have
Go
to
ahead,
wait here
over.
until the other vehicle has been cleared. I'll just ask that you move the vehicle off the road. Is that okay?
Roger,
Yes,
out.
how long is the other vehicle going to be? Because we need to get
No longer than 5 minutes.
Right, guys, let's double time it back to the
Thank you for your cooperation.
Let's go, you're good.
Thank you, Mitchell. Warwick, yep.
Dave, when we get back, could you have a quick say to me? Because I think I injured something when I fell off the roof.
Yeah, will do, mate.
Can we sit here, by the way?
Yeah, see ya. I need one person here as well.
Well, it's covering for 1-1 there. I'm not too short.
Yeah, roger that. They'll come back now, so you'll be able to take up your own walk.
1-1 Charlie, this is 1-2 Charlie, message over.
Go ahead, 1-2 Charlie.
1-1 Charlie, ETA on your vehicle being cleared, over.
He has now been cleared. We're just sending him through the checkpoint now, over.
1-2 Nodges, out.
Yeah, clear it.
I've been told I can clear it.
Additional 1-1.
Oh, don't worry.
Your
I'll let him through.
reinsert doesn't appear to be in the server
Go
anymore.
back to the barrier.
Acknowledged, I will wait for a message, over. Roger, out.
Okay, sir, as soon as this vehicle passes you, you are cleared to go through the checkpoint.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. One times ambulance coming through the checkpoint now. Out.
Yeah, Dej, could you have a quick seat to me, please?
Alright, 1-1, get set up on the northwest.
Right,
Being
I'm
in
going
the
where,
same
yeah.
position as you were in. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's
right,
happening,
Dej,
Mitchell?
can
Do you
just
want to
have a
grab him?
quick seat to me? I just don't want to kind of...
fuck up, friend.
Alright, CTP's in the bunker though.
Yep.
Oh.
Airborne.
Right, move across there.
Bunker, over there.
Dash back on east.
Okay, Aqua, you
I'm
here?
gonna do one. Oh shit, actually, I can
Aqua, I need you out once you've been healed. Oh, never mind, you are out.
Speed will be back in station in approximately 2 minutes, just getting patched up.
In fact, Worry,
I
could
am.
you go off on the
That's
roof
so
to the southwest, please?
You said 10.
Thank you, mate.
Two.
Great, that isn't working.
Relatively competent, so a 2.
There we go.
You can't count,
Yes, mate.
Yeah, that's fine. Not a problem.
I
Gonna go.
I'm hearing a
Great.
wild Bailey.
Can we dispose of the car and
Emphasis
the
on bay.
explosives?
Explosives?
Well, there was grenades and stuff in the
Civilian coming south.
Yeah, eyes on 2 civilians coming down.
Mikhail, can you deal with it?
I need to get rid of.
Pull off a
Where
roof.
do you want it?
It's an air firm.
Right, I'm just getting the gate.
Hold.
Yeah, just try to get him.
After a reinsert.
Hold.
Yeah.
Follow me.
Roger.
It's
okay?
Right.
I need a wheel.
How fast am I?
They are.
How do I do it?
So yeah, can we dispose of the vehicle?
Actually, I don't think I have to.
1-0, this is 1-2 Charlie, my server.
Might have something for you.
Nothing I haven't.
Go ahead, over.
1-0, be advised. One time civilian southeast, currently looking for help with his crashed car. Over.
Including anal wounds.
Roger that. We're not really in a position to be fixing vehicles. We don't have any kind of repair facilities here. Over.
1-2 acknowledges.
Bye, have a beautiful time.
Unfortunately, we don't have the facilities to repair vehicles here.
I was wanting to get back up in position.
Oh god.
Do you have a phone I could use? I forgot that. I need to call the AA.
Don't have a phone on me now.
Well, can I come
Be advised, eyes on the crash car.
Tell him he can
User
look in
left
those
your
houses and ask
channel.
for people there. They may have a phone.
You can go check the houses back there, see if someone there can help you out with the phone.
1-1. This is 1-0. Message over. Go ahead, over. I want you to take a recce patrol to the White House on the northeast side. Over.
He says,
Recce patrol to the northeast house on the White
User left your channel.
East house on the right side.
Hey, firm, I'll pass that along.
The white house on the northeast side. Over.
Acknowledged. We've just moved the vehicle away, so we have clear sight lines. I will send wrecking patrol now. Out.
Great.
Yes.
One time Civi is asking permission to cross through the checkpoint to go to talk to the town. We're going to search him. Is that give him to pass through?
Yeah, once you've searched him, then you can let him through. Yeah. Everyone gets searched. Going through.
Right, yep, search him and then you can let him through.
Stick a cable tie in the back there.
I'll be happy to take a cute group.
No, 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 no.
1-1, this is 1-0, message over.
Go ahead, over.
Inform your recce patrol that once they've searched around the back of the White House on the northeast, I would like them to loop around further north around the hillock with the copse of trees on, just to ensure there's nothing around the back of that. Over.
Well, I was Mitchell. So, sir, you just come with me. Here you come. Hold. You let him go. Let him.
Acknowledged.
Stop
be
now.
advised, I will be leading the wrecking
Stop.
patrol out now. Over.
What the hell? That was his foot. Okay.
Roger, out. Sit
How-
rep.
1-0, that civilian that came in, tried to release our prisoners, gave a warning shot, but one of them seems to hit his foot. Over.
Roger that. 2 or 3, but okay.
Yeah, I'm an AR.
Oh, yeah.
Alright, Charlie.
He's dead, John.
How did he die?
Go ahead, over.
Still,
Yes.
you do me a favour. You rotate Sego in front. I want to see how long
Pellizer swap with
Send it to
Solikov.
me. I'll call this off then.
How did that guy die from?
Someone has to
I have no idea, but he's dead.
Sorry, lots of voices all at once. Were you saying you want to finish this here, yeah? Over.
Roger that. It would be nice if we get some more practice in, but we've got Tavares.
Hello.
And also, I've been looking at the rotation plan. I think we need to pencil in ambushes, seeing as a snap ambush is vital to our area. Over.
I know.
What?
All call signs, screw up your current missions, school circle, in the
School circle,
checkpoint.
move it
Over.
Filling if you want to make yourself visible again.
Yeah, I'm running it now.
Talk about extreme prejudice.
Who broke the barrier?
By the way, Gray, when
Yes,
before,
Aquilina,
I'll
please
just
stop
hide this
pointing
dead
your
body.
gun at me.
Yes, thank you.
Don't worry, I didn't mean
Thank
to.
you.
I was
speaking
trying
to
to turn off
Sterling
my
before, I
drift.
could hardly hear you. If those without anything you were saying before was directed at everyone.
Yeah,
I was.
I think I was too far
I think
away.
the only
actually.
time I was addressing you directly was when I was asking you to get that guy to step out of the car.
No, before when I'm saying when we were in the circle.
Okay, right.
Okay, I was on yelling, so.
Alright, lads. I think all in all that was good. Me and Sterling want to move on to the next little segment of tonight and then we'll end X because it's starting to get a little bit late. Just please do remember the procedures when you're challenging people and stopping vehicles. Make sure, halt the vehicle, engine off, driver step out. Make sure you do that. The driver's still in the vehicle. Even if the engine's off, they can turn it back on, start fucking around, they can reverse away from you, they can flick the front end out and knock you over. There's a whole host of things they can do. They need to be out of the vehicle. Other than that, though, pretty good stuff. Wasn't able to really do any patrols because it was far too hectic. With a fully staffed couple of sections here, you'd expect recce patrols out to any of the areas that we can't have eyes on right now, so I was about to send 1-1 out to the northeast, because I can't see behind that hill, for example. And I can't see behind that house over there as well. That sort of thing. That's what you'd expect from recce patrols. Quick patrols around the area to search any dead ground, any areas that can't be seen from the checkpoint, and any areas that could be used by hostiles to sneak up on the checkpoint. Sterling, go ahead.
Well, we're just going to try and cover harbour areas quickly.
Okay.
We're not going to be able to act one out tonight due to lack of numbers. I have an example prepared with AI, and we're not going to bother with a snap ambush because we're going to do ambushes at a later date. However, this is my favourite part of the night. I need a recruit. Any volunteers? Where's a recruit?
Yeah, there you go.
No, you're not a recruit, Warren. Pellitzer, you're a recruit. What's a harbour area, Pellitzer?
Sorry?
What's a harbour area?
Hub area is where you, contacts can either stash equipment, supplies, or themselves.
God damn it. He actually gave a coherent answer. I like it when they say it where...
Was I the only one who
Keep
who
shit.
said something about ships?
Well, that's what I said when I originally got asked it. That's what most people say. So, 10 out of 10. Pulitzer, when your favourite recruit? I'd give you a round of applause, but I can't because of my push control. Anyway.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
You said it's where contact stash.
No, but he didn't say it's Harbour. He got it wrong. I'm about to tell him why he got it wrong.
Okay.
But I'm happy that he didn't say it was where boats go. I'm very happy. Good job. So, Harbour is a position we take which provides security for all within it. For us, it's not really useful during ops. Using ARB instead, it's easier. Maybe that will change, but usually we use it at the end of an op in a campaign if we don't want to, or we don't have time to return to a patrol base, or an FPV, or a mid-mission. We'll form a harbour area in the woods after snap ambush, and we will index there. So it's kind of like a portable PB, but without the walls, or any of the useful bits. Its walls are the sections, and everything in it is seems to be free of contacts, though not of stuff like explosives. More on that soon. Anyway, we only use them if we're stopping there for a considerable period of time. Otherwise, as I said, nowadays quicker and easier, and serves a pretty similar purpose. In harbour is good because on three sides you have lots of firepower, but on the corners it's usually quite weak, even though the ARs are often stationed there. Whereas an ARD, you have consistent level of firepower everywhere, but obviously only a few guys can bring their guns to bear due to arcs and all. Anyway, some reasons we might set up an area, a harbour area, are to avoid detection if we're trying to lay low, especially as an airborne unit. We might power drop in and then form a harbour area for a bit, avoid detection. I'm going to delete those fuckers. There we go, they're gone. And then another use of them is to lie low while reconnaissance is gathered before we execute a large plan. So now with Recce Group, we might form one for 10-15 minutes in the woods, and we wait so that we know the exact numbers of contacts and where everything is that we should be encountering. And it's also a base from which we can mount operations like attacks, ambushes, or reconnaissance patrols of our own. Because it's supposed to be safe, and as I said, we treat it as a sort of portable PB, so we can dispatch sections from it, especially if we had two platoons. We could dispatch even a platoon from one and have the other one hold the harbour area. In essence, it's useful, and we can use it as an RV for small groups, like RV1 for example. We could set up harbour area there and wait for, I don't know, if FSG's far away, we could wait for them to come and join us for a long period of time in relative safety. And it's also, it can be used interchangeably with an AID in certain situations, like if we're halting after a long period of patrol or whatever, whilst we're waiting for new orders. That's great, alright. What if we haven't really been told what to do because we have no new orders yet, no intel's been gathered, we might just assume one in the woods somewhere secluded and wait there. But it takes
like
a lot
it's like a slightly more long-term ERD, really.
It takes a lot to get it going because you have to perform a snap ambush beforehand for it to be safe. So you can't just show up somewhere and get in a circle. It's a lot more complex than that, which is why long-term only. Someone had a question?
It's the difference.
What shape is it?
Between setting up camp and just stopping for a...
Yeah. And it is a triangle warrior with a section on each side. So how do we form harbour area? Anyone got any ideas?
We start with a snap ambush.
Yep. And when do you stop? When do you stop assuming that snap ambush formation or position? When is it? Yeah. When will you stop being in the snap ambush and get the harbour area ready?
After you make sure there's no one following you.
Yeah.
So
basically,
when
whoever's in command decides, yeah, no one is behind us, there's definitely no one following us. That's when the commander issues the orders to form the harbour, and when the harbour is formed, we will set out sentries or patrols as required to make sure the surrounding area is safe and no one approaches unduly. You might have heard me mentioning harbour areas a lot when I was going over duties of sentry, because we would be challenging people who are approaching, patrols, etc. Even if your patrol, a fire team of your section has just left on patrol 5 minutes ago, if they're coming back in, you'd still challenge them just to make sure they haven't picked up any hangers on at the back. Okay? So we treat this as, this is a PB, basically, until it's, well, that's a bit of an oversimplification, but until it's taken down, it's a PB, a checkpoint, however you remember it best, but as a result, we treat it like a PB or a checkpoint, and anyone that comes back in, comes in at all, has to be challenged and vetted, and give the password. That's why we've done Jesus Entry before this. Does that make sense? There are a few things you have to take into consideration when forming the harbour. When we form the harbour area, every single section should enter and exit in the footsteps of the section before them or after them in the, well, it's always before them really, even when you're leaving. This means that there is only one proven route and everyone is always following that route. So if there are mines or whatever in the harbour area, we don't know that. Mines or even an IED, anything like that, we don't know that for sure. So if everyone passes down exactly the same pathway, there is absolutely no chance of anyone running into an explosive device later on, because if it didn't blow up the first guy into the harbour area, it won't blow up any of the remaining ones, okay? So that means the first section in walks along all 3 sides of the triangle and won't stop until they meet the third section again. It's quite hard to explain. I've got a triangle of AI somewhere. I think it's been deleted. It might not
To the
be.
left. They're just to the left.
Okay. Oh yeah, I see him. I'll walk you around there and show you how we would form it, even though we don't have enough guys to do it ourselves. But does that make sense? Any questions about that?
Just got one random,
Yeah.
but it's more of an IC thing.
Yeah, do it.
So clearly, we won't be doing any harbour areas anytime soon.
Well, you won't be. Gray or I might order one, especially during FTX or whatever. But
no, I think I know what he
probably
means.
not soon.
We probably won't be ordering one because we don't have 3 sections really currently, and triangles
you're
are
right.
by nature 3-sided. Unless
You
we
can
get FSG
do it with
involved.
fire teams, but at that point it gets a bit small. Maybe
So
we
then
should
you've
do
got
fire
4,
teams.
don't you? That just makes it a little bit.
Yeah, but we can have the 4th one as a patrolling fire team that just does it in the middle and goes out. I mean, we'll see, because we want to practice them. So it's not just,
I just thought I'd talk from a logistics point of view.
yeah,
Or one
but
for either side of the
it's
show.
not ideal.
I think no one is more annoyed that we've not really got 3 sections at the moment than me. So, yeah.
Except me.
Anyway, Sterling, let's go through this harbour area then.
Yeah. We've got a few more things to go through first, but
yeah.
When it comes to sentries, ICs, you'll probably be asked to set up sentries by us, but it'll be up to you to send them out there. So sentries and ICs both, you need to know that you shouldn't be more than 100 metres away, as we covered earlier, and be a bit closer, maybe 50 metres in the night. And if you are going to do a clearance patrol, which will be ordered by myself or Grey, it will be up to 300 metres max, because otherwise you're just a fire team, because it won't be a fire team strength. You're a fire team who could be very far from the harbour area, and it takes time to get out of the harbour area as well, because we all have to follow the same path. So any rescue will be slow, and we definitely won't be able to see you if you get much further than 300 metres away. Okay? Make sense? Okay. But as just a normal enlisted soldier, you don't have to deal with most of the logistical nightmare that is forming our harbour area. At least in ArmA, because it's a bit of a shit show. All you got to do is listen for your IC's order to form the snap ambush, and you need to know the signal to start the ambush, and be listening for when the ambush is called set, because when an ambush is called set, as we'll cover when we do ambushes, you must maintain complete silence. That means no local, no radio, no reloading, no moving, nothing. The only thing you can do is one of you in the first cut-off group will be told to issue a signal of some kind when the enemy is spotted to let everyone else know that they're approaching. Otherwise, you have to be completely silent. So just remember that, because the snap ambush is key to the harbour areas. And then you wait till the ambush is over, and you get your orders to move to the harbour area. You go do that. You make sure you follow exactly the footsteps of the person in front of you, or the section in front of you, and then you sit watching your arc. As a section IC, you've got a bit more to do. You need to be briefed on the exact locations of the harbour area and snap ambush. As we've said, it's a bit more. We use the harbour area as a long-term thing. which means it will be planned. There will be locations, a suitable one, probably in a forest, as I keep mentioning. So you need to know where these are and you need to be prepared for them. Preferably brief your guys in advance, they all know exactly what's going on, so we don't have a bit of a clusterfuck when we arrive. And then make sure they're completely confident. Deal with questions in advance. Perhaps ask them some quick pop quiz questions about sentry duties or whatever, and remind them of the password. Just make sure, as I keep saying, everything's prepared. Because for checkpoints and other fixed positions like this, there's no excuse because it's all planned in advance, nothing spontaneous. Everyone should know everything. Is that clear? Yeah. And then I'm going over the section IC stuff. I'm not going to tell you all about platoon IC stuff. You can read it if you want in the SOP. But many of you will be in a situation on occasion where one of your ICs is dead or both, and you might be forced to take over the role of chaperoning your slightly less intellectually endowed section mates into forming what can be quite complicated procedures. So make sure that you are capable and confident in doing so. Is that cool? Make sense? Good. I didn't hear a yes, but good.
Can I just point out that that Merlin just brought in Flight and Reki on a truck in the back of it. What the hell are they doing?
Whatever, it doesn't matter. We're getting on with our training and getting it finished tonight. I don't really care.
But anyway,
to be honest.
As I said, make sure the preparation stuff is there, and listen in to your platoon ICs so that, or your platoon IC to know when the ambush is being set, and call in when you are set as a section. And be on your guys' backs, make sure they're reminded that they have to be silent and they should reload before the ambush, and they're completely briefed on what we're expecting to come through the ambush, if anything, because obviously it's a snap ambush, it's not planned in advance. Well, what I mean to say is, with a snap ambush, we're planning the location in this case, but we don't know what could be behind us. So make sure they know that, and if you're on a road or whatever, maybe there could be a convoy coming through, make sure people are ready with AT, and are designated to do so, and know what vehicles to target, i.e. first and last, and keep that discipline going throughout the ambush, because if one of your guys gives away the position, then I will be angry. Element of surprise is pretty key when it comes to ambushes, isn't it? I don't think any of you can deny that. But when it does come to going to the harbour area, you might be asked to abandon your men and go with the platoon IC to the harbour area to just scout things out. I'm just going to ignore that. And make sure you have all your guys following in the previous sections. And when it comes to clearance patrols, choose sensible routes, guys. And don't, as I said, with further than 300 metres away. Make sure the sentry coverage is good. And yeah, it's pretty similar to what the enlisted soldier has to do. But instead of just being aware of all these things, you have to be directing them, and that becomes a lot more difficult. Any questions? Anything? Okay. One ICs, afterwards if you could look at the SOP and read the stuff about platoon IC in case Grey Rise ever not here, you have to do one. There's a few more things. For example, you'll have to lead in the sections into the harbour area, and you'll be calling the ambush set, etc. and scouting everything out. Does that make sense? Yeah, good. I know it does. Follow me.
Right, you're heading out northeast.
Come on, guys.
Follow on. Gibbons, leave him. Oh, right, he's not yet. Okay, let's go.
We've done a few minutes. Now, can anyone tell me what shape this is?
Hexagon.
Fucking medics, honestly.
It's an upside down triangle.
Well, it's a triangle, yes. And how convenient the AI have actually done something correct. What weapon is this guy holding? Come over, gather round. What weapon is this guy holding? He is. And why is it good that we have LMGs on the corners?
AI should be covering the flanks.
Yes. Why is that especially important in a formation like this triangle?
Because no one else is watching the flanks.
Yeah, these corners are the weak spots. It's just like in an extended line, you have the ARs on the flanks because they have the most firepower in a pinch, or the rear, or whatever, because they're not on 3 sides you have an entire section's worth of firepower, and on the corners you just have a couple of guys with ARs. So they can get a lot of firepower out for the amount of people they are. They can get the suppressive fire going, and then the platoon IC can decide how to respond to the threat appropriately. So imagine, as a section, you're just in an extended line, except you've got 2 other sections on your flanks forming a triangle around you. Okay? So standard extended line procedure, ARs on the flanks, usual. These ARs will often be the ones approaching individuals, but sometimes you might have a more senior member around doing that too. It all depends. Okay?
How large is that arc, Sterling?
What, the ARs?
Yeah, on the corners.
Well, ideally they'd just be looking outwards, as if there was a line drawn through the triangle straight up the top, something like that.
It's a 180.
Yeah. And then that's the way they're trying to look. Yeah, 180.
Because at the end of
but you also have the guys to your flanks. They can help you out a bit. They don't have to look completely straight. They can be looking slightly left or right and helping cover it, because a 180-degree arc is a lot for 2 people. Even if it is officially theirs.
Can I give a little
explanation? You would actually.
What?
The reason why it's normally a 180?
Can if you like.
I'll explain it to you if you want, then you can explain it in better words.
No. It makes sense. But I mean, if he's pointing outwards anyway, 180 is field of vision-ish.
The reason is because at night time you're not going to have all these men looking out. It's just going to be 3 ARs on the corner, or sentries. So if it's 180 degrees, at a certain distance, all the views will be overlapped. That makes sense. Yeah. No, like, they all watch the 180, there will not be, if someone's coming in from the middle...
Yeah, everything will be covered, yeah.
It'll be overlapped.
Let's form a massive column and all walk around.
Alright.
Okay.
Inside or outside?
Get behind me, I'll pretend to be the guy setting it up. So just follow me in. Imagine these guys aren't here, they're just a bad guy.
Let's have 1 section first, 2 sections second. Let's try and do it properly-ish.
Yeah, we'll just imagine 3 seconds here and taking the last one. So I'll walk you around and imagine these guys aren't here. Let's go.
Guys, how long is it going to be roughly? Why am I walking? There you go.
People facing.
Someone's bleeding as well.
It's okay. To the rear, please.
Judge, I want to remind you, I see the AIs are shit and we'd have a shit ton more spacing. This whole formation would be much bigger, but I can only work what I'm given. Over.
User entered your channel. User in your channel
We'd
timed
never have
out.
you guys this close.
Let's sit right in this guy's ass. Yeah, because you've gone far left, mate. Bring him up, Delta.
Uh-oh. Hand it to the...
Oh, I don't even know what are we actually doing? I don't know.
So the support elements forming A section on southeast side, kind of.
Yeah, the second section, so you get on the second side.
Yeah, I don't actually know what we're meant to be doing here. We just got told to go into follow you.
That's fine.
Spill, how long we got left, Bob? Because I might have to go soon because I've got my uni tomorrow.
Bearing in mind last time we did this on a mission, we had to actually draw a triangle on the map and we had to walk everyone around it. It's not as easy as you think to do it in a mission.
Because I wasn't there.
Shut up.
I don't want it. I am on you.
I can do it in real life, I can do it here.
Who's the other guy?
Oh, thanks, Dave.
Alright, everyone in school circle, come on.
Two quick disclaimers.
Damn it, Harmon!
As I tried to tell you, I see.
They radioed it and said school circle.
I wasn't putting it on. Anyway,
enjoy playing with yourself.
2 quick disclaimers, guys. Spacing in here is obviously shit because the AI, they're a bit crap. So the whole area would be much bigger, and I'd be leading you round and it would be a section per side. So the first section in this case 1-1, would travel around all 3 sides. 1-2 would travel around 2, and 1-3 would just set up on the first side they reached. And the second you get to the corner at the end of your side, you'd just go prone and start watching your arc, and then everyone else behind you would follow on. Really, it's not too bad. It's drawing the triangle, which is the hardest bit, as the platoon I see, and making sure that everything's working. But apart from the poor spacing, that was alright. It will be a lot better when we have enough guys to do it for real. It'll probably just have to get tacked into a different training situation, depending on one of these 3 sections, unfortunately. But yeah, that was pretty good. There was a bit of confusion, but I didn't really say that we were going to be forming the whole area, so that's fair enough. We weren't originally, but 1-1 was so overzealous and so keen to impress me with our harbor area skills that we improvised.
Just know what we're doing.
Of course. Anyway, any questions about that? Obviously, we've kind of rushed our areas because it's the end of the night, but the theory's done, and we'll put it into practice with a quick recap when we have more guys. Okay? Questions?
I have one.
Yes.
Jurgens, drop your AR on the floor. Do it. Do it.
Isn't that an
His
M24?
looked a little bit different to everyone
Yeah.
else's.
No, nobody knew anything.
That is the 7.62 LMG. Who the fuck gave him that?
No, hold on. I picked
Jurgens,
his weapon up.
You will be bollocked. Wherever you're gone. Everyone else back in the school circle. Everyone else back in the school circle. Let's let Sterling finish this training off right, and I will bollock people in a minute.
Yeah. Where's my weapon? Hey, so who's my AR?
7.62 millimeter.
Yeah, it's here.
LMG.
Yeah.
You little cunt.
Right, permission to engage.
No. Sit down and shut
Okay.
the fuck up.
Well, we covered a lot tonight, and it's been a lot of theory, and there's not as much practical as I'd liked, but we'll try and cover that when we get to FTXs. We'll do a lot more that stuff. But theory-wise, I'm very happy. And from what I saw, even if I think there was quite a lot of babysitting tonight by the ICs, that's fine, as long as you can all do it by yourselves as well. And what I've seen, it was very good. I'm sure Gray and Bailey were impressed as well. Bailey was too busy trying to make that party band work, but it looked like it was a bit of a disaster to me.
It was, yes.
Looked like someone farted in it. They all just piled out.
When the fuck did Bailey get here?
He's been here for ages.
I mean, like on this little school circle.
He's just been...
Stood there the whole time we've been here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Have you got any of that, Gray?
No, just keep the comms flowing. Comms flowing between sections. Most important thing, communication. As soon as something rolls up to your side of the checkpoint as a sentry, you need to inform your IC about it. Don't forget that first stage. I know there's a lot to remember about duties of a sentry, but the very first stage, radioing your IC and telling him what you're seeing. Really, really important. Because then the IC can tell me. I know what's going on, and then we can formulate a plan. And then you can continue with the rest of the process, but you need that communication right at the start. Other than that, I'm very happy with what I've seen. Progress?
I've just got to say something to everyone while we're all here. TS is going to be going down literally as soon as we hop off the server. I'm rebooting Debbie, and then it'll pop back on.
Is someone talking? Or...
Spittles just said TS will be going down as soon as we finish here.
Oh yeah, sorry,
Debbie needs fisted. I mean, rebooted.
Okay.
You murdering Debbie?
Means, Jurgens, your bollocking will have to wait.
Yeah,
no, we can wait. I think
sick and go to bed, Gray.
Oh, it is midnight. It is midnight where he is, in fairness.
Right, is that Index?
Yeah, I think that's Index.
Wait, does he suit me or not?
Index.
Yeah, it does actually. Right, Index, get off from server.
Rip
okay, what the hell is that?
Rip you.
I found it.
Jesus Christ.
Everyone get off. God, this thing's sexy.
User